What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in. Trade deadline coverage. We got 2 hours left, although I'm sure some trades will trickle in at the end of that. So it might go from 6:30 to 7. As long as they have like the ballpark trade in there, and then like it's basically the gist of the trade is agreed upon, and it's like a player to be named later, a little bit of money, like they'll approve it. Deadline with coach is better than ESPN. Appreciate that. I'm multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube, and I know YouTube is a lot more strict on what I can show. I know sometimes, I think last year when we did the trade coverage, MLB actually had like their own coverage on here that you could watch live, but I don't see it right now. So I have like an earpiece kind of in. I don't think you guys can hear it, but I'm basically listening to Foul Territory. So if anything happens, I'm kind of listening to it. They're talking to Ken Rosenthal right now. But since I was kind of out and about doing stuff, a couple of trades broke just within the last couple of minutes. So just want to go over those real quick. So Royals getting Paul DeYoung. I mean, the DeYoung basically was like shitty for the Cardinals. So White Sox, they knew they were going to be bad going into the year. I figured he was kind of a stopgap up until they got Montgomery called up, which, you know, if you are actually a White Sox fan, that might be something to look forward to. I'm not assuming that they got anything back from Paul DeYoung or had to give anything up. So good move for the Royals. Give him some depth. DeYoung, you know, he's still a solid glove. He'll give you some power. Maybe if you match him up with the right people, like, you know, with Cardinals, he was dead if it was a slider or anything like that. So I remember last year's, I think it was on MLB, right? Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. But yeah, so that's not a bad trade. And if the White Sox actually use this as a chance to give Montgomery or some of the other prospects a chance to like audition, then by all means, let's go. I was waiting to see if Chafin got traded. That was one of the guys I would have really loved to get as a Cardinals fan. So him going to the Rangers, okay. I feel like the Rangers are like adding and subtracting at the same time. Not sure what they had to give up, but Chafin's not a rental either. And the fact that this like reliever market has been like insane this year, very curious to see what happens there. Verdugo receiving trade interest. I figure either Verdugo or Gleyber Torres, once they added Jazz, and Gleyber kind of had those issues of like, I'm a second baseman, I don't play third. You know, and it's like, okay, well then Jazz is probably going to play more in the outfield. Well then who gets pushed out there? So it's like, I figured either Verdugo or Gleyber would be kind of like on the block now. I'm still waiting for Finnegan to be dealt. Yeah, I kind of assumed he would have been like a combo deal with Lane Thomas, but Lane Thomas got moved to the Guardians earlier today. So yeah, he's you know, as you can see on my board, I've got Finnegan on the board for players that might be moved. I knew this Lucas Ursig got some nasty stuff. I didn't think the Athletics would trade him, but I mean, like I just said, the reliever market right now has been insane, so I'm not sure what they got for him though. But yeah, we'll be following some of this stuff. Usually I can get some of this, but also on Twitter. Twitter's like the fastest thing to get responses, so just like that. Refresh. Mets are getting Paul Blackburn. He's a guy that I think could have been traded last year, but he had some injuries, and I think he just came back healthy. So solid little, you know, forearm, get an innings eater at the back end. I've always kind of liked Blackburn. He's not that expensive either, so let's check out his contract. Man, this is like you hit refresh and there's like a new trade. Got 18 minutes left to work. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Although 18 minutes, I don't know when you typed that, but I'm assuming that was like what, 4:15? I'm like a 4:20 like clock. That'd be really weird. All right, let's go to multi-year. I like Spot Track a lot. That's kind of what I use for my contracts. Oh, the Athletics are one of the few that are kind of not as forthcoming on stuff. 28. Okay. So 430-ish. Okay, so he's at basically 3.5 this year. ARB control next year. So he's not a rental. He's got one more year. Just early in his 30s. That's not bad at all. Not sure what they're giving up, but I mean, if they just lost Senga with his, I think it was a hammy injury. He pulled his hammy or something like that. So, adding some depth, nothing elite. I'm sure the asking price for like Anderson and Flaherty is just, and even Snell, I guess to some extent, is just so high right now that they're like, well, I guess we can get some innings at least if we get a 4 or 5. So, knowing my luck, a blockbuster trade occurs as I'm driving home. I'm trying to think, like Anderson, maybe Scott, just because he is still on the board there. Like Robert, like there's plenty. Diaz, I guess, like there's plenty of names that are out there, but I don't feel like there's like the Juan Soto of the market this year, Biddies. I'm like, that showed up right in the like weird spots. I couldn't quite see it, but I appreciate that. I think it was Hoff, right? Off with 100 biddies. I still think Scoobo gets dealt. See, I don't think Scoobo gets dealt now. I think Scoobo gets dealt just like Crochet at off season. Because the Tigers are going to focus on moving Flaherty because they have to get rid of Flaherty, and they still have him. So I think they're going to be preoccupied. Now, if he does get moved, the team I've been saying along would have been the Mets. But the fact that they just got Blackburn, that hurts a little bit. But I think they got the prospects and pieces that they could make a deal. Trying to see if I missed anything in the last couple. I think I'm caught up. I know this Ferguson to the Astros was kind of a weird thing. I think he's going to Baltimore. Baltimore's definitely been active, but I mean they've added Eflin. I feel like they just added Trevor Rogers from the Marlins. Still got Burns, still got Grayson Rodriguez, so they still got some of their depth guys. So I don't think, just based on the moves that they've already made, I don't think they're gonna get him. This Ferguson to the Astros is a curious trade because I like Ferguson. I guess he's not having that great of a year, but this just felt like a roster crunch. Like, hey, we just traded for Leiter Jr. We need to get rid of somebody. So they're like, all right, we'll move him. Cobb is like, I thought he would be a guy that was moved, but he was still doing his like rehab stuff in the minors. So I was like, I mean, I guess Cardinals just moved Edman. That was kind of the same situation, but I mean, like, I feel like pitchers are a lot riskier. By the way, I had a much better day than last night. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'll be honest, I've had a pretty terrible last couple of days. And it just seemed to get worse today. I found out that if you're a part of my Hoff is a part of my WWE Fantasy League, but I found out today that one of the like original members that I did WWE Fantasy with, he actually died in a car accident, him and his wife, and he's got 2 little kids. I mean, not like little. I think they're like between 4 and 7. So that I just found that out today, and then one of my childhood best friends that I grew up with, he recently passed away, and I don't know the situation. I don't know if it was drugs, suicide, murder. I don't, kind of hush hush. And I don't really want to talk about it much because like I've been like fighting tears on and off all day. But like it hit today. Like I was kind of like numb for a couple days, and then like today my brother had like talked to me about it, some other stuff hit, and I was just like wow, it was like a part of my childhood just died like this week. Like, like I grew up, Hoff knows my age, but like I'm 35, so I kind of got to grow up before cell phones and before like all those like hitchhiking murders where people were like afraid to go outside. So like as long as I had a bicycle, it was just like go out and do your thing and then come home when it gets dark. So like I grew up with this guy. He's actually like the story I kind of wanted to talk about was like I never grew up. I gotta mute this because it's really hard to talk while have a serious talk while this is in my ear. But yeah, when I grew up, like I'm a very sports heavy household. Like I was obsessed with the Bulls. And then we were a Cubs household, so I liked the Cubs for a while by default. Our Little League program had something set up with the White Sox, so every year at the end of the season they would take us there. So I was a very hardcore, like sports oriented family. But his household wasn't. He not that it was bad or anything like that, but like he was more of like a wrestling, comics, like more creative, I guess you could say. So like, I put this in my Facebook tweet, so Nick's probably the only one that's read it, but like I played my first Nintendo game at his house. Like we didn't have a Nintendo. The first console we had was a Sega, which is awesome. And he would come over and play Sega, and I'd go over there to play Nintendo. And then eventually, like my brother would get like a Super Nintendo, but like basically played like my first real like video game at his house. The only reason I knew anything about Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart was because I would go over to his house on like Sundays, and we would like play the video game and then like talk about it, and we would like kind of run into the living room because his dad would watch them, and so we would kind of like watch shows that way. So like the only reason I really knew about like Marvel and DC, you know, any comic book related stuff, I mean, we all played video games, but it wasn't, you know, it was like shitty video games like Sega stuff, so not a lot of like story driven or anything like that. But yeah, the only reason, like, as much as we talk about wrestling, and as much as like, you know, I do the events for Shots at the Rumble and all the PLEs, like I have events for or whatever, like I wouldn't have known anything about wrestling other than like Hulk Hogan if not for that like friendship. So that kind of threw me for like a loop today, where it's just like, you know, like in the Marvel or like timelines or, you know, science stuff, where it's like, you know, what if this thing hadn't happened? What would have been? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what would have happened if he wasn't my neighbor? And like, I never knew anything about wrestling and never knew anything about like comics and stuff like that. Like, I just texted, I think it was one of my friends. I was like, dude, like literally one of my first dates, like, you know, teenage, I was in middle school, but like one of my first middle school official dates was a double date. We went to the movies, you know, back when your parents would drive you to the movie theaters, drop you off. And so one of my first dates that I ever went to was to go see the first original like Spider-Man movie. What's up, Bisha? And so again, that was one of those things where like I used to have this little tack board. Like it's that tack board. You can kind of see it's like cardboardish or whatever. And honestly, Nats, it wasn't even like last night. I was kind of pissed off about my dog stuff. It was like this morning when like everything started to come together, and then it was just like my friend sent me some bullshit stuff, and I was just like, why would you even send that to me? Like, there's nothing positive in this clip. Are you just trying to make me miserable? Like, and that kind of broke the dam. So like this morning was like a terrible morning. You know, it was like the dog stuff. Yeah, our little conversation last night. This friend dying, and I can't really get any closure because like I don't know why or how. And then also finding out this other guy that like we weren't like super close or anything like that. But the fact that he also was like involved in like wrestling and was literally in like the first wrestling league that I did, it was just like, wow, man. All these things at once. It was just like, it's like the death by 1,000 cuts, but instead it felt like a bunch of like whippings. Like, and then eventually it was like, all right, I've bled enough. I'm bleeding out. My bones are showing now, and it's just hurting today. So, you know, went to the dog park. We walked around a little bit, try to clear my head. You know, sometimes it's like, I'm a big proponent of, you know, not only like mental health, but like try not to like suppress things. You know, like I'm already pretty like, I don't want to say not bulletproof, like blunt. Like I'm pretty blunt as it is. Like I speak my mind, and I'm also kind of a hothead. So like I kind of know when I'm getting there to like walk away. Like last night, Nats, like I just left. I was just like, I gotta walk away. I gotta cool out. Like I'm good. I was good, but I was like, I'm starting to get mad. I need to walk away. And so yeah, I was like, I'm a big proponent of kind of like feel your feelings and do that sort of thing. So like I was really going through like the process this morning. Like I was like numb for a while, and I still haven't really gotten to acceptance yet. I don't think I'm gonna get to that until I figure out a little more information. And it sucks because the funeral is in 2 days, and there's like financially there's just no way I can get there. But I like, you know, it's one of those situations where like his childhood was me and my brother and Chris. If you guys know Chris in chat or whatever, like we were like that. Like, and the weird part about it is they're all older, they're all my brother's age, which is 2 years older than me. But like those four was my childhood. I'm glad it's the past. Move past that. In all seriousness, if you need it, yeah, I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm in between of like I don't really want to talk about it, but I know I need to talk about it. So it's really just like talking about the right things and making it like trying to turn negative into a positive type of thing. But yeah, like when I was kind of like 1 o'clock today, I was like, I'm not streaming. I can't go live. I just can't. I was just crying and like holding back tears. So I was like, I almost like texted Tampa or Nick and was like, dude, you gotta go live for me. I'll send you the screens. I just can't do it. But like I said, I knew I had to go to the dog park early today. So I went and took my dog there, walked around, you know, like any feelings, whether it's like sadness or anger or frustration, like it's all energy. So you got to find a release. You got to find a way to use that energy. So that's why I was like, I'm going to go to the dog park. Like I'm going to sit there and like process, but then I was like, we're going to go for a walk. So we walked around the park. And it's hot as balls here too, so that didn't help. But you know, it's like my kind of like sanctuary has always been like walking in nature. And this park is kind of like, it's like in the city, but it's not. It's kind of like residential. And it's like a bunch, like there's a little creek there. There's like foresty, stuff like that. Like it's a really small little thing. So I was like, walk through there, very quiet, very serene. You know, it's just me and my dog. Nobody's around to bother us. So I was like, okay. Like I could kind of like that deep breath swallow was like, all right, we can do this. Let's try to make the best of it. Like, let's not make all this sadness like ruin the day. You know, let's hope something good happens. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Chattanooga. So I'm in the South. But yeah, so I got foul territory in my ear right now. I'm going to unmute it. But we got basically hour 45 left. What's up, NATO? One state over from me. Are you in Alabama? Virginia? Is Virginia? I feel like Virginia's like Kentucky. Because I know, like, because if I drive east, it's the Carolinas, and if I drive west, it's like Alabama. If I drive north, it's Kentucky. If I drive south, it's Georgia. But my brother lives. Not much just got home. How's it going? Well, we haven't made any crazy trades yet, NATO, but there's definitely been a bunch of them. So we're trying to catch up with some of them. Mariners acquired JT. I'm not even gonna say it, but it's like French. Deal with the Marlins. I'm trying to like retweet them as much as I can, but at the same time, these are coming in like every 5 minutes, so it's kind of hard to keep up with them all. But yeah, DeYoung, I guess for you that of interest, DeYoung is now a Royal. We haven't traded Carlson yet, as far as I'm aware. Mets got Blackburn. That's kind of interest. Royals got another reliever, and Urseg, who's from the Astros. No, I mean today. Why do the Nationals want Dylan Carlson? Probably because the last time we had a trade with them, they got Lane Thomas from us, and we gave him up for basically John Lester and nothing. So, you know, if they move Lane Thomas to the Guardians earlier, they could basically just throw Carlson out there and just hope he can develop and hope they can tinker with something and make him work. Because, I mean, like Carlson's got talent. He needs regular playing time, I think, to work things out, and he's just never gonna get that in St. Louis. So, and like me and NATO have seen enough that we're both kind of just done with them. So I mean, like they could probably flip. The name that they mentioned was another. It was Floro or whatever. Carlson 24, 25, right? What do you mean? Oh, age, he's 25. He's got 2 years left of control, 2 arbitration years left. I mean, he's still young. He came up when he was really young. I guess they talked to the Astros general manager. That's what's up right now. I feel like they gave up a lot. He's same age as me. Yeah, I mean, he's not like 28, 29. He's still got time to develop, but at the same sense, like, we need to win. We don't have, you know, like, we're trying to push towards the playoffs. We can't afford to, like, try to throw him out there to develop right now. So he would be fine on a team like the Nats or the White Sox or whatever that can afford to, like, all right, just throw him out there and let him get, 450 at bats. I don't think there'll be any last minute crazy deals. I mean, I just want to see Jack Flaherty get moved. Tyler Anderson, I think both of those are good talents. I'm waiting for those two guys to get moved. Carlson's like that prototypical, like, change of scenery guy. You know what I mean? All right, let's see if we got anything updated. He's a younger Lane Thomas. Well, so when Lane Thomas got moved from the Cardinals, it was basically like a roster crunch. Like, we had too many young outfield prospects, and he was kind of like the fifth guy. So it was like, well, we can't get you at bats, we can't get you playing time, and we needed pitching at the time. So we traded Lane Thomas to the Nats for Lester, and I think one other piece. But yeah, because at the time I think we had O'Neill, Bader, Carlson. I don't know if we still had Rosie then, or Adolis Garcia. And I think we might have still had Adolis Garcia, and then I feel like one more like Dexter Fowler or something like that. Although I feel like that feels like forever ago. But yeah, we had so many outfielders at the time, and Lane Thomas was kind of like the last guy. So he was like, well, we can't play you. You can't show what you can do. So we like I was not happy because Lane Thomas, has talent. He's a good player. But we just didn't give him enough playing time, and he didn't have opportunities. And we didn't have a DH back then either, so. Oh, Jose Martinez. You remember him, Nato? He was such a good hitter, but like every time he ran, it just looked like he was about to break his legs. Lester didn't pitch. No, I mean, it was an okay trade. I just felt like we gave up more than we got in return because it was like an expiring Lester. So. The Mets are sending Cade Morris to Oakland in the Blackburn trade. Okay. A lot of these, it's like they're coming in so fast that it's hard to be like, all right, let's stop and look down the prospect list. Let's read the ratings, Like at the end of this whole day or this whole week, it's like I need to break down and put them in an Excel spreadsheet and be like, all right, this team made this many trades. They gave up this many talent. I give them like a plus 20. But it's not going to happen now. So much going on. Yeah, I think I said for NATO, I guess, for the or Hoff too, the cards people out there. There was something out there that was like Cardinals are also looking to add not a bullpen arm, but like something else, like a something else. Cross an update in Discord, by the way. Uh-oh. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. All right. Oh, yeah, I read that one earlier. I think I follow him, too. I think I have Denton. I thought you were like, he's traded. Man, I really wanted Chafin. Like, we got JoJo as a lefty, but I don't trust Libator at all in the bullpen. So, like, I would have loved to get another lefty bullpen piece. And, like, Chafin can also get out righties, too. He's not, like, a weird, like, only has a curveball. So, I mean, good pickup for the Rangers. It's just going to feel weird when, like, teams like the Rangers or... I guess the Giants have kind of signaled they're selling now, but, like, the Diamondbacks or something, like, they're going to add pieces and then, like, they're just too far behind or whatever. Although I think the Diamondbacks are in, like, second place right now for the wild card, so maybe we're falling into that. We're going to add pieces, and it's not going to matter because we're still so far behind. Gives potential next year with Severino, Quintana. Yeah, I would say they've got a lot of expirings for the Mets. Okay, I was like, I heard Cardinals. But they're talking about the Fetty trade. I know the Red Sox made a trade earlier. I don't know if you guys remember what it was. I feel like it was like a bullpen arm or something like that. Maybe it'll be on here. Funny that Josh Bell got moved. I know they got Lucas Sims. That's the one I was looking for. Pitching prospect. Just one prospect, too. Okay, AJ, stop screaming in my ear. Stop screaming in my ear, AJ. But yeah, for all the bullpen like reliever market, I realize Sims isn't. I don't think he's having the best year, but like if you look at his analytics on Baseball Savant, maybe not this year, but like in the past, dude, he was like elite status stuff. I was like, somebody's gonna be attracted. He's got swing and miss, like. So I was waiting to see if he got moved, and he did, and only for one prospect. Like that seems like a steal compared to all these other teams getting rentals. Although does he have one? He might be just a rental though. They're highlighting the Cardinals. They're actually giving Maz some credit, NATO. I know you'll hate that. Sim should still be on here before they update it. Or did they update it? Shit, I think they did. Botchak's really good. So he's now on the Red Sox. He's either on an expiring or he's like, I think he got 1 year left. Okay, he's on an expiring. Damn, he's only making not. That must be what's left. That must be what's left because I feel like he was making like $4.5 million. Or they covered it in the trade, and that would make sense. If Carlson isn't in the National, I expect Dylan Cruz to be called up soon. I totally expect Dylan Cruz to be called up sometime. Honestly, I'm shocked he hasn't been. I thought they called him up to play some DH reps, but maybe not. No, that's the guy on the Rangers I'm thinking. And then I think he got hurt. Thought Brewers acquiring Frankie Montez was a nice deal, even though he's not having the best year. Although the fact that the Reds got Joey Weimer in return, I thought that was kind of sneaky. Because Montez isn't a rental. He's got, I think he's got a club option deal for next year. Or something that's like, I want to say it's like 16 or 18 mil. It's not bad. But Joey Weimer was like, when the Brewers had all these prospects coming in, and they're all outfielders. Like, they brought up like 4 or 5 at the same time. And then he kind of got squeezed out, struggled, but he was the one that actually was like, I feel like he had the most like potential, I guess, like power potential for sure. And then, yeah, so he's credited with 6 runs, 7 outs above average. He's got so good defense. Pegged him in 93 percentile of outfield's range in terms of arm, pretty solid. Keep in mind he was just drafted last year. I know, but I mean, some of these guys, like, they're polished players, like Cruz, like because he's in that Skeens class, and then the other guy, that the Rangers guy, his name's slipping my mind right now, but like because of all those guys, kind of like were good players in high school, and then that was like the COVID years and the shutdown seasons, they all went to college, so it was like they're already like draft ready, and then they got even more polished in college, like. They basically have been sitting there in AA for 2 years while they were in college. I have a question. I just keep getting random calls and texts from this law firm about a request about disability, and they keep calling me Robert. What do I do? It's getting annoying. I might answer one and just be like, I think you have bad information. My name's not Robert, so... Yes, Langford. Langford's up there, too. It's crazy what his ex-LSU teammate is doing in Skeens. Yeah, LSU... is definitely like one of the premier college programs right now. It's crazy. It's happening every day. Yeah, I would either block them or I'd answer them once and be like, yo, you got the wrong number. Stop calling me. Ooh, we got breaking news? What we got? Twins acquiring right-hander Trevor Richards from the Blue Jays. Wasn't Trevor Richards an ex-Rays? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Angels are like, right now is that meme of like the stick poking of like, hey, can you do something? You got Tyler Anderson, you got Renfroe, whatever his name is. I'm surprised he hasn't been traded yet. If COVID never happened, Skeens would be in the league. Yeah, he probably would have. I can't remember where he was then because this is obviously years ago. In high school, people I don't really pay much attention to. But yeah, if he would have came out as a high schooler, I don't know. He probably would have taken a couple years to develop anyway. But so he probably, to me, maybe a year earlier might have been the most, but still. But at the same time, he was going through that like maturity of like, am I a pitcher or am I a hitter? Because he was actually a pretty good college hitter. And it wasn't until his last year when he was just like, I'm just going to focus on pitching, that he like really, really took off and dominated. So, all right. What did they get? Come on, update. Twins grind right hand. Trevor Richard from the Blue Jays. Sources tell. From what they said on FT, it's like expiring contracts for some prospects. So it's like nothing too fancy, but at the same time, I feel like the Twins need arms. Ooh, here we go. Padres finalized deal to acquire closer Tanner Scott from the Marlins. Still pending medical review. I like Tanner Scott, but like his downfall was always sometimes he gets those streaks of wildness. And if that happens in the playoffs where he's like lost the zone, it's dangerous to have. You know, because in the playoffs it's like a single and or a bloop single and a walk. It's like, whoa, game's changing. I mean, you know, Padres got prospects too, so. My dog keeps knocking over her food bowl, and I can't tell if she's just playing with her food or if she doesn't like her food, so she's being like, hey, this sucks. Or I don't know what her deal is. She's being a weirdo. I feel like Trevor Richards was a big deal like a couple of years ago. I don't know what happened to him, but I feel like he had nasty stuff. Where's my tab? Oh, I don't have a tab up for. Let me see if I get this up first. Put that over here. I'm so happy to have my 2 monitors back. So helpful, especially for stuff like this when we're like looking up information. It doesn't actually have that good. His whip's fine, but his ERA has not been good. I don't know. They don't really show his FIP on here, but. Come on, pop up. Ooh, not as dominant as he was. Actually, his baseball savants numbers are not that good this year. But like 2023, off-speed run value is elite. K-Swift Ks were elite. So maybe he's just having a down season. Yeah, because then he had kind of lead again in 2022. But yeah, keep him in the bullpen though. Yeah, he's got some dirty stuff. But Tanner's... For a second, I swear to God, I thought my dog just jumped on the counter. But Tanner Scott going to the Padres. What did they give up? You want to go on the balcony? You just got back from the dog park. All right, I'm gonna let you. Hopefully, the YouTube doesn't get mad, but we'll listen to a little bit of a FT, what they got.
He acquires Jason Adam, and now
he's going over kind of the moves that they've made.
Those are all impact players.
Boom, 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 boom.
Man, that's why the Padres do well.
Like, this is why my electric bill is so high, because she's like, I want to go outside, and I'm like, well, okay, well, you freak out as soon as I close the door, so then my AC goes crazy.
Wild card team, they say, yeah, we do. At the beginning of the season, it's like, I don't know, I don't really know.
What up, Turkey?
Fourth place team in the division. 4 impact players.
Turkey, what was the project or whatever you were working on with the hockey thing? Was it just the scoreboard little thing?
I remember the conversation was, is it the Giants or the Padres?
And also, were you the one wearing the camera?
Padres already had all the people that you're just talking about the moves. Like, this team is built to be in the playoffs, and I love the fact.
I think you guys can hear that, right? Okay.
Tripling down on that, because to me, this is what you're doing as a GM.
Basically got my screen covered, so hopefully I'm on the right scene.
In the right position to succeed.
Can I just say how happy?
It's the other project you used to have the custom text on the ticker. Oh, just kind of expanded on it.
Xbox has the.
I was wearing it. Oh, you were the one skating around? Oh, damn. Turkey's got
That was such a
skills.
fun series
That
last
was.
time. It was such.
A
Remember the
great
goose flew on the
series.
field.
Okay. Well, they don't seem to be mad about that, so.
Wait, can you still do the playoffs?
All right, Padres.
Have to make a move.
Dodgers.
I mean, Dodgers. The Dodgers, I feel like now we're gonna have to.
Scott, Suarez, Adam. Oh, they did hit Adam.
Yeah, I think they do too. I think
They're like, Dodgers got to match him.
I think there's.
I mean,
heavy
or
back and
crochet.
forth.
Either
Oh,
way.
boy.
There's a White Sox fan.
Yeah, we got an hour, less than an hour and a half left. Jack Flaherty, where you going?
I think Flyers-
Angels, wake up. Poking you with a stick. What you gonna trade?
If you're the Dodgers, though, you're not.
Yeah, just expand it slightly.
Getting a guy
How
who's
so? Tell me more.
for years. You're focused on this
I was
season.
thinking about this today,
So, I mean, there's
or yesterday,
like,
actually.
if you look at their rotation for next year, it's not like they're missing.
And this
guys
is like CSS stuff, like,
the Orioles
you know,
were
like the
that where
cosmetics.
you're looking at 2020.
I was like, what if you added like
guys for now and
a breaking news thing where,
I mean,
the hell is
Ohtani
that?
alone actually is
where
not
like
that
the
good.
text
They
kind of
forget
flashed
about
instead of
Ohtani.
scrolled? But again, that's like CSS stuff.
But you've got names.
Small
You've got
stuff,
Liner, you've got Yamamoto, like,
But
they're
at
good
the same
names.
time, could be a pain in the ass stuff to customize.
And they have money. Flaherty is a perfect.
You
fit.
okay?
What happens to Bueller?
You got it. I think he's got
You
one
know,
more.
Free agent.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
saying
Walker
he's got
Bueller's gonna be a
one
free
more. Yeah,
agent.
sorry, and then they're hoping.
And honestly, they'll probably let him walk. He's been so injured.
Coming back this year.
Really? You don't think? He'll
Have you
come
heard
back
about
in
him throwing?
September? What?
Have you heard
Bum,
about
bum, bum,
Yamamoto
bum,
throwing?
bum.
Long toss.
Exactly.
All right, so Sky got moved. We got one player off the board.
Yeah, I mean, this gives you insurance.
Not really expanding on it as oh wait, well, no, not really expanding on it as it's already supported external things, but I was just adding the site
There's some people in the chat
that our
that are
rink
like,
used.
what if
Got
the
you, got
Padres
you.
have left to give up? They still have an okay farm system. It is not.
Turkey, got any players you would like to see moved at the deadline today?
I mean, we'll ask JJ Cooper later. It's still probably.
I'm not sure I know what team is your like favorite.
The best GMs.
We got Nats, we got Cardinals in the building lately, or today at least.
And you know what? That's okay.
Waiting to see if the Rays make their last move with Diaz.
Because they know. Go back.
My baseball knowledge is very limited. Well, I mean, even if you just have one team that you like, you know. I usually root for the Cubs. Cubs have actually made some good deals that were kind of unexpected. They picked up Paredes.
That's up from what it used
Whether
to
they
be.
want to put him at first or third next year, he's a nice hitter. He's got 3 years of control left. So that was a good trade.
Most of the prospects.
Better than the Sox, all that matters. Definitely better than the White Sox.
The trades were more of like.
They traded Leiter Jr. today to the Yankees, but I can't remember what. I think they got like 2 prospects back in return. I can't remember. And then they made like one other move too, where it was like, okay, I see you, not bad.
End up getting a really nice return in a deal like that. All right, let's do.
All right, Tanner Scott from the Marlins. ESPN reports
Can we show that notable?
Brian is going to the
and then we'll talk to JJ
Padres as well. I don't know much about him.
Because we haven't gotten to these.
Yeah, like Marlins and Padres seem to be 2 peas in a pod there.
To Milwaukee, Ahmed Rosario to
More
the
to come on that detail.
versatility and depth. But here's 2 that we didn't get to. If you want to chime in on these.
Hey, Angels, do you want to make a deal with the Cardinals
And
for
Justin
Tyler
Turner
Anderson?
with
I would like that.
Seattle to do a little, probably first base.
Even if you want to put a Renifo in there,
A full-on extreme
kind of platoon him
makeover
with
to their
Gorman,
lineup.
righty lefty.
Quick thoughts
Poke,
from each
poke.
of you on
GM
that.
guy,
Good
wake up.
pickup for Cleveland.
Let me reach out to my boy
I love
Tony.
Lane Thomas for Cleveland.
Me too.
Justin Turner, veteran guy to send out to Seattle. He's not tearing the cover off the ball. They need power. He's not going to bring much of that, but he's a great clubhouse guy. So, but I mean, he goes from Toronto to Seattle. That's about as far.
I think my fan behind me is dying. Like it's on.
Tough travel. Yeah.
But I don't feel anything.
But I love the Turner because he's not hitting a lot of power. Whether that's Toronto's fault, whether he's aging out, which I don't agree with. His own base percentage is going to look like he is Babe Ruth. He's going to look like Barry Bonds in that lineup. He's got a 350 on base percentage. That's what this team needs. Somebody to look at and be like,
Who are they talking about?
why didn't he swing at that pitch? Would have been a good time to just swing. And
Nato and Hoff. This was our update of.
I think
I'm not sure if you can see this. Hold on.
Here, as much as I really like Lane Thomas,
Yeah, you should be able to
I
see
just
this.
think Cleveland's
This is our updated
anyway, but I think
top
Justin
whatever
Turner
rankings
going
prospects.
Turner,
I think they do. Yeah, they do 50.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
top
They
33.
need
That's
a
weird.
veteran presence like that to help.
I think they just do it until their players
Clutch
list
maybe
runs
make the
out,
playoffs.
like I did, like a top 500 or something. But
Clutch in his
I thought it was weird that
postseason.
Scott was 89. Like I don't think he's a top 100 prospect right now.
Here's a quick look at the game.
Not until he can learn his hit tool. But I did think it was interesting that him and JJ both went to West Virginia. I didn't realize that during the draft.
three-time winner does it. That's cute. Come when you get to 6:30.
All right.
Whatever.
Love that. Trout and Griffey go scan.
Ooh, Robbie Snelling. That's a big name.
It's a free game.
That's definitely a top 100 prospect.
Palm of your hands, all the latest from the 2020
Missouri, Paulie, infield, Jay
cards
Breshers.
you can acquire if you play MLB
All right, hold on.
24. Be right back on the guest list coming up. JJ Cooper on all the prospects.
That's
back
yeah, Robbie Snelling. Ooh, Adam Missouri. He's a righty.
Bob Nightingale is.
I know this is all right. So MLB pipeline. Oh, it's a little hard for you guys to see. MLB pipeline right now is outdated. They don't update theirs until the draft class signing period ends, which is in like a couple of days. So that way, like, they're not putting players on there that don't end up signing and then like they go back to college or something. Like, so it's like, I can't remember when the last time they updated this. Maybe May. There's gonna be a lot of different names, but Robbie Snelling's the number 2 and Adam Missouri is the number 4. Let's see what it says.
YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to FT. Type in Foul Territory wherever you get your podcast.
Fangraphs is more updated.
Ken Rosenthal's going to be back on Thursday to recap.
So with the signing of Mayfield, Snelling's their 4, Mazur's their 6.
We answer your questions. We hang out.
They're in AA and AAA, so they're getting close.
I'll answer 1 or 2 questions right now.
And then who else did they get?
And then we'll come back with JJ.
Pretty solid return.
Austin, do you see the Yankees getting rid of Gleyber?
Is it the MLB trade line today? Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Sorry. No.
Slap in the face last night, Nick. The fact that you didn't know that.
What?
Your Royals picked up my old friend Paul DeYoung.
That upside possibility of what he.
All right, who else did they get? Or wait, I think that was a tweet.
Also not cheap.
Paulie and something.
I don't think
Graham Paulie and Jay Bashirs.
You have to bring it up because it's a thing.
So Paulie's 10.
Eating money on that last year of that arbitration.
I mean, even that alone is pretty solid. But then you also add in Bashirs, wherever the hell he is. So he's probably got one skill set that they're really interested in.
Didn't one of you bring that name up?
I mean, fuck. They got a lot of talent for a reliever.
I say anybody that has, a new.
Well, coaches, what's happened, dude? There's been a lot of trades. Tanner Scott just got dealt. That was the deal that we were just looking at. So this is the best description probably right here.
Tyler Anderson to the Mets question.
So Tanner Scott and Brian Hoeing, fun name, are now Padres. In return, the Marlins are getting Robbie Snelling, Adam Missouri, Graham Paulie, and Jay Brashears. So Snelling and Missouri are, and I guess Graham Paulie, they're in the top 10 other prospects according to Fangraphs. I'm pretty sure Snelling was a top 100 prospect in general.
I don't know what's going on, but his name
Once upon a time, because this is definitely outdated. But
those comments scared me.
40, he was 44 on MLB Pipeline. So Marlins got a lot of talent, and the fact that they traded Trevor Rogers earlier to the Orioles, that's pretty solid too. So I mean, Marlins are making some moves.
Padres acquiring Tanner Scott, and we'll get some other returns.
Go ahead and get that reposted. Marlins got quite a bit. Yeah, I can't remember the like. There's literally, it's like every time you refresh, like Mets acquires Tyler Zuber from the Rays. Don't know who that is, but like every time I update. I'm messing with OBS now. Got my webcam on. Still have to get capture card hooked up. New game stick for retro play. Hell yeah, Hoff. Let me know if you need any help with that, man. I'm always down to help with stream setups and stuff like that. Even if it's just sending some walkthrough YouTube videos. Tanner Sky's gonna be a stud for the Padres. I mean, he's a bullpen arm. He's good, but I mean, he's not like a young chicken. Like he came up with the O's. He's had success with the Marlins, so. Can't wait to cream when I see you on webcam. What type of retro games were you gonna play though?
A little bit later on. I did want to start here.
Silly girl.
Talked about the tweet that
like which console? Because I bought this little thing. Here, I'll unplug it real fast and show you.
Prospects yet have been traded on Baseball America's list. One person was like, "That's not true. Dylan Lesko got traded." I'm like, "I don't think he's in their top 100 anymore. I think he fell off."
No, I mean Dylan Lesko.
So I got this little device.
He's not just on the edge either. I mean, if you were talking about guys
so like your VGA, like it's two. So like your VGA is plug in here and here, and then you put your HDMI here or whatever here. That'll plug into your TV or your monitor or whatever. Or like in my case, this plugs into my capture card, and then we hit the button to switch back and forth between, which is which. So like right now I have my PS2 set up, but like if I wanted to set up my Wii or anything else that's got the red, yellow, white cables, I can use it with that. So it's pretty nice.
But at the same time,
I have a stick that has Atari, Nintendo, DS, PS1, Sega. Yeah, you like that little device. If you get something like that, you should be solid.
It's quite a return in terms of
Ooh, hold
how
on.
the games are going back to the Miami Marlins and the San Diego Padres acquisition of Tanner Scott.
This is like
It is
one of the main guys on Baseball America, I believe, that the voice that you're hearing.
Or if you have them, you can just run through them better than I can.
I will need to get my Wii connected so I can do some Wii box. Dude, I have Wii boxing as well. Like, honestly, finding the Wii sports games is really hard to find nowadays. And it's actually a pretty solid workout, man. I remember doing it, and then like I did it for a few days, and then like after the first initial day, like my elbows were like so sore from that.
But this is the guy who has been a premium prospect, so that's kind of interesting.
I just got to get stuff done. The capture card I will read about next. As long as your PC recognizes it, it's kind of like a plug and play for most of them. Sometimes it doesn't show up, and literally it's just like, all right, the HDMI is in the wrong spot. Wii boxing is so fun. Could never beat that bastard Matt. Was that one of the characters? I can't remember. I feel like I played like the first 6 rounds, and that was it. Love tennis and baseball too. Yeah, the tennis one, I really enjoyed, but I was not the best at it. I like the bowling one. That was kind of fun. That was like a nice little party game.
We're seeing, you just said number 3.
He was the one with the goatee. You're like, my ultimate life rival.
So it's
the Wii character.
Mediocrity?
So the Padres, give them all kind of credit. They have done an amazing job over the last few years of continually restocking.
Well, this guy's not as thrilled about this return. But hey, Marlins are pretty good at developing prospects, so if they need some tweaking, some improvements, good way to send them. Interesting, though.
So they've done this where
he was at one point. I hope you've upgraded your rivalries then. I would like 98% sure Flaherty gets dealt, but if he doesn't, I want to know why. Like, did he get hurt? Because he got pulled yesterday just so he wouldn't get hurt, so he was trade eligible and like no issues. So it feels really weird that he hasn't been dealt yet. Like Snell, okay, contract issues, the player option. Crochette, so many issues. Tyler Anderson, I don't know why he hasn't been dealt either. Him and Flaherty are the top 2 relievers. Then again, like if we're looking at my board right now, the Rogers brothers basically came on the block like yesterday, so okay, that's fine. Then again, I don't know why he hasn't been moved, unless the Nats are just in love with him and the request is just too high. I would love to see India get moved. I just feel like the Reds have so much roster redundancy. Like they might as well trade him now because I think he signed like a team-friendly deal, but I think he's got like 3 years left. So like you get plenty of haul on him. Robert also I don't think he gets traded either. I think he's a off-season guy.
I didn't realize they were that bad. I mean, 197, 2.
It's crazy. This has been a really interesting deadline. Like maybe not necessarily like Juan Soto getting traded, but like a lot of good players or above average players that perform better in certain situations are getting moved.
Now it's high A, so it's one level.
All right. Oh, okay. My bad, JJ. Sorry. The next year.
Yeah, that's a good trade. I feel like. I don't know much about this guy, but Tanner's,
I'm not knocking on Ethan Salas, but like.
I love when they add these graphics too, because I'm such a visual guy.
240-ish, with at least a 700 OPS.
Angels, wake up! Tigers, wake up! Well, I guess Tigers traded Chafin, so they did make a trade already.
And then you say, well, how's he hitting? It's like he's not hitting this year, but he's really young.
Minnesota gets traded during this. Soto's not getting traded. He is not getting traded. Yankees are in it. He's on an expiring deal. I'm here for the whole coverage. Well, we got about an hour 15 left. We'll probably stay on a little bit past 6 just because things will trickle in here and there. But we'll see what happens.
I don't think the Padres have a whole lot to offer there.
All right, let's see if hour 12 minutes. Yes.
If he can bounce back from what's
I'm like this is the first time I've had like YouTube is the default. So if
what did they get back?
where's my little thing? My tab for this.
The two guys that they got back because nobody seems that high on
Not
them.
there.
For give up three
We're gonna close
three
that.
big leaguers, it seems like an odd return.
Yeah, I didn't say
Go to
future
my
managers.
studio.
I saw you said that. I saw what you said yesterday. On
Get some trades going if you want to compete, ain't right?
Hey,
but
even you know what's funny though? Is
That's not
even
what we
though I
want.
Said that people are like, he's lying.
Yeah.
He's totally lying.
Liar.
Maybe I should play poker.
Maybe future.
Yes, we
owner
want the
can
studio
do that.
it's not working.
No, the thing I think that complicated it is it was a
'Cause I'm like,
3-year deal.
will YouTube
but
shut me
listen,
down or
the
black me out if I
White Sox
show
doesn't have a lot of value in trade. If he did, he would
I
have
show
been
another
able
YouTube
to
stream
sign
right
with the
now?
White Sox
That's kind of what I'm
for
curious
$90
about.
before the season. So and
And you just making me sad I'm not even a fan.
impressive as he's
Yeah,
been,
they're definitely
they're selling
frustrating.
on him too. He really struggled last year, led the AL in walks. He struggled this year in the pen.
Okay, let's see if I can switch over and see if YouTube gets feisty with me.
Didn't have I think a ton of trade value. It is fair to say that when you look at
Boom,
Fetty,
boom,
and you look
boom,
at the
boom,
price
boom,
of
boom.
what they got for Fetty,
Because this is like what I was watching before. Oh, not that one.
You say Kikuchi compared to what Trevor Rogers just got today.
I'm
That
like,
seems a little low,
does
especially
YouTube
because
shut me
Fetty has
down
a very
or hide
reasonable
the
deal
stream?
next year.
That's what we're curious
A lot
about.
of this depends on Miguel Vargas. Miguel Vargas was a top 100 prospect who's kind of bounced on and off the.
Oh, wow, I
Dodgers
really
roster
cut
the
that
last
short.
couple Years. He hasn't shown enough at the plate to where they can comfortably just say you're our guy. But it is the Dodgers. I mean, that was kind of true of Michael Busch, who was traded to the Cubs this year.
If it's posted
And
from the source, you
Busch
can,
got
but if it's
very
not posted from
solid
source,
for the
like someone
Cubs.
else that could copyright you, not entirely sure though.
The
Yeah,
long
I'm
trade
like,
often the case in
I know
LA.
my little
You're
experience
hoping for that from Vargas,
with
and the other
YouTube
guys
was
like
very
Albertus
much like,
and Alexander Albertus and Gerald
kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like
are a pair
if
of
they
guys
want
who
to
high
fight you or
ceiling,
not.
really far away, you kind of that's where you're hoping that.
And since this is live, it's like, well, we're kind of tuning in with you. So if anything, I'm kind of like pointing people towards you because this is foul territory. But if it is something that they don't like, they kind of just black out your screen on YouTube. So that's kind of where I'm watching my studio right now to see if that happens. Because I know, I believe it was last year that we just watched. It was on MLB.com site, but I didn't see it this year. So I didn't know if they just weren't putting it on the website or they were trying to like make you watch it live now or what. But I was kind of like scrambling to be like, where's my video source that I want? So yeah, if you guys see it, let me know. But right now, it just looks like it's just writings. Let's hope it holds up. I think you'd be fine to be on. Yeah, I don't think they're that type of guys either, because they're kind of like, the reason why I like foul territory so much is it's kind of like for the players by the players. It's not like, oh, we're gonna kiss the league's ass type of thing. So really, it just gives like something to drive the conversation as well when I'm looking up stuff.
They circle their 3 or 4 guys, and they usually.
All right, so this Mets to acquire Tyler Zuber from the Rays. I don't know who Tyler Zuber is. We would need a. I'm sure Tampa doesn't either. 29, signed a minor league deal back in May out of Atlanta. So nothing sexy, nothing crazy. Maybe he's had maybe some depth with some options left.
We are talking about guys who are 3-4.
But yeah, that guy in the bottom right. If you don't listen, I think if you don't listen to the Baseball America podcast, that's like the main guy.
Most of the time, you're gonna whiff on that, but once every
That and they also have the clock, so that's kind of nice.
Someone lands in Jordan Alvarez, someone lands in O'Neal Cruz, and if you're gonna be picking from the high ceiling, high risk player pool,
He was with you at one point. Well, obviously, he didn't really have much success because they signed as a minor league free agent. So you probably let him go.
Well, all of this and much more with JJ coming up. We break down that Astros.
I'm on MLB trade rumors right now.
It goes down in the next couple hours. We'll talk
He got a little bit of innings. This year, he's literally only had 3 1/3 innings pitched this season. So I don't know if it was an injury or what, but you're right. He was a Royal.
Yes, see you in a few. And
He had 49 innings for the Royals, but had like a 5 ERA. So like,
gotta figure out what each team.
I almost wonder if he was a guy that might have been on the 40 man and they were just trying to get rid of.
No, I don't know.
Because it's not like a minor league option or minor league contract that's worth much. So. All right, we're going to go ahead and close this down then with the YouTube thing. I think he was a 40 man. Yeah, it might have been. Might have been. A lot of times you see these smaller trades to clear up a roster spot to bring in another trade. So,
who the heck all these people are? Like he's rattling off like
but the fact that the
30
Rays dealt it, it's like, well, the Rays have already moved so many people off their 40 man. I don't know
Remember
why
that
they
time
would
Eric
care.
Dash
So.
got traded for some gum, and Scott Brown got traded for nothing. They actually paid to take him. Like you're like, how the heck?
Okay, let's see if Twitter's got anything for us.
He's good and he's engaged too. Like,
Any updates, any spoilers?
game stuff with him, he gets it. Like he's like, oh yeah, but he had a tough.
All right, so on the Chafin deal, it says the Rangers are sending Chase Lee and Joseph Montalvo to the Tigers in return for Chafin. I don't know either of these guys. I think Montalvo or whatever, Montalvo. I think he's a pitcher.
While we have a quick minute, because I don't know if we'll.
Let's see if we can find him though.
Stand pat on trade deadline day. And Anthony Rendon to the injured list again. I don't think he's hit a homer in over a year. Lower back
All right,
inflammation.
wait, hold on.
Same, bro.
Yeah, but the big
Chase
thing is
Lee.
they go to order in the lineup.
We'll just say Joseph Mont. I believe he is. Yeah.
That probably means they're
Chase.
playing. I mean, you could put him in a lineup and then trade.
Chase Lee. Chase Lee. We'll look for him first.
AJ?
Me?
Yeah,
For what?
Trade.
to be traded.
For a
I was
trade.
only.
I don't
trading
even
off-
see him. So unless they moved him already,
Oh,
No.
Montalvo.
You're in the hot tub. and
Oh
then
no, he's not on there. But the other guy, yeah, he is a pitcher. He's in high A right now. He's their number 19 prospect on
the
Fangraphs.
manager was like, no, you're not taking
But yeah,
it.
Chase Lee's not in their top 40. So
Just in the dugout. I was like,
Here's
all
my
right.
thing.
Chafin the Rangers is solid. Yeah, I'm jealous because I wanted him.
Pinch hit for.
He would have been nice for your team too, but
But here's my
okay. So they got a top 20 prospect and some other piece for Chafin, but
deadline, and now this is a time when they obviously should be selling it really in front of your face, and they're like thinking about.
yeah, I'm like, we got some deals, but now we're getting like
Cool.
specifics
They're
on
all
such.
good, but, I mean, the fact that Rengifo and Anderson might not get traded.
Jason Stark. The Marlins were in the postseason games 9 months ago. They're now doing more selling than the White Sox. Jazz, Tanner Scott, Trevor Rogers, AJ Puke,
Ward, too.
Josh Bell, Brian Hoeing,
Teams being like he hasn't hit since May or
that
whatever,
Chargois,
price tag being low,
and they're still
he
open
does
for
have
business.
that year, he's done-
Yeah, that also happens when you change your front office and your management system. So
1 year after this,
it's crazy.
never going to be higher in stock in value. I'm telling you. That one hurts. So anyway, we're coming back to Susan Lester to talk about state of the Giants.
State of the Giants. Yeah, I feel like, can we get one of the Rogers brothers to move at least? I do not think Robert gets traded. I think because of his injury history, more than likely with him just coming back and kind of struggling, that he needs to prove that he can stay healthy for this like second half of the season, and then he'll probably get moved in the off season. And then if they want to do some bigger trade, they could add him into the croquet trade. But
Come on,
I
you'll
don't think
always be an
I don't think he
A,
gets
B
moved.
writer to me, Susan. I don't care
I
what you
know
do.
it, Jay. I know. It's we go back. We go back a long way.
Yes.
Exactly. No, I feel the same way.
kind of with the school bowl stuff. I just think he's too valuable. I know the seller's market and such has made the prices unbearably high, but I don't think he gets moved, especially with Flaherty not being moved yet.
To the Jorge Soler move yesterday, and then
Bum,
Alex
bum,
Cobb
bum, bum.
followed up, and what could be next over this next hour.
Well, they're in a weird sort
This
of.
is the Giants beat writer, I think they said.
When I was talking to people with the team.
Also, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp like that.
Really looking for is a defensive center fielder. So look for that. That might still be something that happens. Clearly, the last
Baseball
night was a
America.
little bit
Padres
of
now traded
a,
5 prospects from their top 10, 7 from their top 30.
But what really interested me with that.
Padres are
move
going
and
for
what
it. Respect, man.
today,
I love owners that actually are trying to win
to move their,
and know that prospects are just prospects, you know.
to spots they actually want to go.
I had a good
to.
metaphor for
Soler and
prospects, but
Luke
I
actually go back
it kind of slipped my
and,
mind.
Stephen Vogt told me that Alex Cobb is the very first person.
Oh, it was like-
they're longtime friends. That's a team that's got a chance to do some fun things.
It was like action
in the
figures, like
postseason.
toys.
So
It's like
a very
prospects are
unique
like
spot for him.
action figures. Sure, they're more valuable when they're on the shelf and unopened, but you know, action figures are meant to be played with. That's kind of how prospects are. Like, they look good in your system and whatever, in your development, but like, they're meant to be in the big leagues or used as assets to trade. Like, you got to play with them.
Mindfulness, which is interesting.
But what are they doing?
That is like, there's a draft every year, so it's not like there's like it's not like there's a limited amount of prospects where it's going to run out in the world. Like, they're going to keep coming and developing, so.
The numbered luxury threshold.
Prospects and action figures are like me.
Adding a center fielder
I'm meant to be
brings
played with.
offense.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think that they care about necessarily the luxury tax.
It's like they look nice and pretty up there on the shelf, but
I think this helps. them
really
with
it's not really that valuable until you do something with them.
acquisitions or looking at things in the off season. It's sort of an incremental salary dump. And today's was not a salary dump with Alex Cobb. That was clearly to open a spot. And honestly, I would say
They do have some
so
pitching
they're maybe
prospects
the
that could
same
come
thing.
up, but I mean,
Wind up going
Cobb-
through Marco
Cobb was
Luciano,
kind of a salary dump.
maybe a
Let's be true.
Luciano, Conforto
I think he was making
combo
like
in the
14
DH
mil.
spot. That move was mostly to open up something for Luciano, and Luke Jackson just hasn't been effective. Soler was really starting to warm up, but
Yeah, I
it
feel like he
just
struggled out in San
a little
Francisco.
too
I think it's probably the
late.
ballpark.
Basically, the last 10 games he was hitting something like 359 with two or three homers. 12 homers on the year. I think they were getting less production from the DH spot than any other team in the league. So it makes sense for a lot of reasons, but their focus, if they do acquire, is on an outfielder, particularly a good defensive
All right, name hasn't
outfielder.
been
Also, so
named
they did
yet.
Elliot
Mets
Ramos
designated
as
lefty
corner,
Jake
so I think
Diekman,
they
though,
wind up
for
with
assignment
Jesse
yesterday.
back in center.
You see Soler's back with the Braves. Yeah, that busted out last night. Luke Jackson was also a reliever that was with the Braves when they won it as well. So it was kind of a joke of them saying, like, they're getting the band back together.
Cobb, etc. But if you are trying to talk us into the fact that you aren't selling, then why isn't this team buying? Is it because they're not in a good enough place? There's not a strong enough percentage chance of making the playoffs?
I mean, they have some
Like, I know
good
you
prospects,
mentioned
but
center
I feel like the
field.
ones they have, they're
You
ready
were
to be
GM. You
used,
had
like
no
Luciano.
rules, right?
Hell,
You
what was
could
their
do
all-star
whatever
center
you want.
fielder?
There's
He
no
just kind of was
moral
like
issues or
one of their
anything
top
else,
prospects.
and you're going for it because you definitely
They're
went for it in the
pitching. They've
offseason
kind
to
of
give them
been
credit
calling
for
them up.
what they
Harrison's one of
did.
those guys.
What should the Giants be doing?
But other than that, I don't feel like they have
Obviously today
shiny
against the trade
pieces to
deadline.
trade.
There's no way that this was the
They probably
perfect
can't compete
team.
with other systems right now.
They need a bat, and honestly, with that DH,
And no
spot,
way they're
they
trading that
kinda look
lefty
in,
stud first
they could look at
baseman.
any position, right? And
Eldridge or
so
whatever his
throw
name
him
is.
in. It doesn't
We
necessarily
talked about
have
him in
to
the
be
draft coverage
defensive
last year, and I was a
center
big
fielder
fan and
if
wanted him, and
you're
boom,
going
then he's in the
for it,
futures
but,
game. So
you know,
Good
I
call
think
by
Miguel
us.
Cabrera is going to be available. Mike Trout. Let's go for Mike Trout. We've thrown that name out here and there over the years. I can see
Yeah.
that. The Angels don't
got
seem to
less
be
than an
doing
hour.
all that
We're at the hour mark.
So do that. Look, I think that they just need a bat because they
Boom,
really,
boom,
really
boom,
like
boom,
that
boom.
rotation they have, and that's why the emphasis.
All right, I
on
gotta test something.
defense. But to me, the biggest question
Test,
that they
hello,
have is
hello,
offense, and that has been
YouTube.
the case all year long.
Make sure this is working.
So
Because
I
I
like what
I
you're
switched
saying,
the
and
default
I'm looking
OBS
at
thing.
this team versus the Padres. I mean, they're not super far away from each other, right? They're
There we go. It's like super delayed on Botrix, but at least it showed up.
behind the Diamondbacks right now. So if you're San Francisco,
So yeah, we are on Twitch and YouTube. So if you haven't already followed the
what's state
YouTubes,
of their farm
please
system?
do.
Like, why couldn't they
Same
pull
name.
off a Luis Robert and a Brent Rooker or a Josh Bell?
Yeah, but the fact that I mean, I get Rooker is like
Those two spots. And
a
maybe
little bit older. He's
maybe
affordable. He's still got I think 4 years, maybe 3.5, I guess, left of control. But I really thought he would have been moved.
Okay, that's fine. You want to sell some of these guys, but how are you convincing me that this is a playoff team after you've been building up for the last 4 years, aside from the
That's probably the one guy where I'm like,
a couple years ago?
Yeah,
Scratching my head,
don't
like,
think that
really?
They saw Bell necessarily as a fit. for
maybe
that.
nobody's valuing him the way that he should. Like if you look at his analytics page, he's pretty dirty.
They think there's probably better out there. Heck, why not go out and get Vlad Guerrero? Again, a player has to be.
I don't
available,
think the
so
Blue Jays will do that. That's one of those like
available.
X Factor salaries, like his name bringing in fans and.
I think they're checking all the boxes.
Bichette, I could have seen move, but the fact that he got hurt at the wrong time.
That's probably the kind of guy they have in mind when they're talking about defense for center fielder.
All
Yeah,
right.
they're in that.
Roles have
middle area,
designated
right?
John McMillan for assignment to create space for
Potentially a
DeYoung.
playoff team, sure, with that rotation, and if they got in, they could.
Right-handed prospect Gerald Rosado is headed to the Sox in return.
Do you want to throw a bunch? Of
Deal will come
prospects
official after
into a
medicals.
lot of starting
So they only really gave up one
ideas,
prospect. Jared Rosado.
Let's
See what they were.
Got some decent outfielders that they could trade, but I think they probably would like to hang on to those guys and finesse a way to make the playoffs, and then let the rotation take over. That's kind of what I'm.
Let's see if he's even on the
I
list.
don't think that they're going to put together some sort of mass trade for Vladdy or Trout.
I am not seeing him.
Okay,
So again, lower prospect, nothing.
Because they've tried.
They decided to take a flyer on some guy. There must be one tool that they really like,
Blake Snell,
but he's not in the top
not an
44
right?
on
They need
Fangraphs.
to go and get a free agent this year if they're not going to trade for him. So are they going to do that? And then the next question probably actually
Everything's
before we even
burning.
get that,
Fox, you're funny, man. Your
hot
sports
seat
thing is actually pretty funny.
because he's kind of
For those of you who have wondered, the Blue Jays might reverse course and trade controllable players like Vlad Guerrero. Source says Toronto has no plans to move Vladdy or any other big name player signed beyond the season. That's by Mark Feinside, who I do like. I do respect him a lot. So
stars they need.
I think he is a little bit on the hot seat. Every time I talk to ownership, they express their satisfaction with the job he's doing. He obviously got a contract extension when the team
Red Sox fans, Roman Anthony, one of their top prospects, been scratched from the lineup today.
Contracts if they decide to make a move.
If that's true,
Plenty of money. I think
then the Red Sox are making a big deal.
Players.
So the question is, which are they looking for? They need bullpen help.
Most concern for them.
I could see them going. Oh, they made. Oh, then again, they made some bullpen trades. So
to go back to the playoffs and to do it sooner than
Flaherty,
later. The one thing I will say is the Giants have,
Although he doesn't have control. So Tyler Anderson.
done some nice.
Tyler Anderson, the Red Sox. How does that sound?
Top prospects and even guys who weren't considered top prospects that are
Rich in the
shaping up
house?
to be
Oh, no, he's at a golf
they're
tournament.
Shaping up before their big run in the early 2010s.
Yeah, I think
Tyler
Anderson's-
Fitzgerald looks like a real find at short. Obviously, they've got Birdsong
I
now.
gotta
coming
clear
in
up my
rotation,
phone.
Phenomenal. They've got some pitchers coming.
I'll look
They've
it up
got
real quick.
Patrick behind the plate. Elliot Ramos has come on. They've got
All right, Angels.
potentially Luciano, potentially Luis Matos as nice pieces, all coming up for the system. So maybe they think.
Yeah, Anderson's making a cheap 13 mil this year and making another 13 mil next year. So he's got another extra year of reasonable control.
But some of it has
So he's got some value.
Patrick Bailey.
And I think he's having like a phenomenal year, if I remember right.
I think
Oh yeah, last time I looked, it was like a 3-3.
this year, definitely, if he makes it through this year, he is 100% on the seat next
Damn, he's right now 130. I don't know how you have a 0.7. Oh, that's probably supposed to be 2/3. 130 and 2/3 innings. He's got a 2.96 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, and a 4.5 WAR right now.
Oh my God,
That's impressive.
So much fun. You would be absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a weird rumor that AJ was the next Chicago White Sox manager, so he had to address it yesterday and be like, "I've never been talked to by the organization. I'm shutting that down now. It'd be an honor to be interviewed, but I have not been interviewed."
Of course.
That's part of it. Susan, you're the best. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
I think everyone kind of believes that the Dodgers are going to come in at the last second and steal away one of these like starting pitchers like Flaherty or Anderson, especially since they've had Anderson in the past. But it's like, but what if they're not? Are you guys going to be mad at the Dodgers for actually, I guess, being more practical and realizing that it's a seller's market? We're going to have to give up a lot. Like, there's a point of like, I think Maz on the Cardinals says their puke point where it's like, is the juice really worth the squeeze? Are we really getting that much back in return for XYZ player?
AFC fam. All right, we're still going strong. Eno Cyrus is going to join us very soon. We're going to get into it with him. I always enjoy getting his insight and then having you.
But very interesting that Quinn, I think it was Roman Quinn, the outfielder, or Roman Anthony. Got scratched. Whether it was trade regards or whether it's just a regular day off injury thing.
Anyway, let me go back to the bank here that we're getting from anyone. Joseph, any chance the Phillies sneak in on Blake Snell? I think.
Ba-da-ba-boom.
No.
Hey, is the Roxanne Thea thing tonight?
Travis, any chance the Astros are making?
I'm like refreshing my Twitter, so I saw that.
Yandy
Diaz would be awesome for them.
Hey man, Anthony Scratch has no relationship to trade. He's basically untouchable.
I don't know.
I don't trust Heyman at all. He's made some really bad
feeling about their
connections in the past.
right now, but
I need to get squeezed. Says the man who traded Alcantara, Gallon for Ozuna.
Brown doesn't care.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Listen, their windows
At the time, though, we did kind of need Ozuna. I didn't really know anything about Zach Gallen other than he was from North Carolina. But, like, I love Sandy. And we did have a lot of pitching at the time. I actually missed those days of having, like, 10 prospect deeps of pitching and thinking that they all were going to be good. I miss those days. You fucking aces? Yeah. I was hoping that the Diamondbacks would actually, like, no hate on the pitchers, but like Erod and Montgomery and all those guys coming back or trying to return. I was hoping they would have setbacks and somebody else would get hurt, and the Diamondbacks would be like, you know what, we're gonna punt on the season because Zach Gallen only has 1 year left to control, and he would easily, for me, be the top arm on the trade block if he became available. But it didn't happen, and they got hot. So, but he could be a guy that gets on the trading block in the offseason just because they have so much pitching right now.
And then once I hit it,
Being Roxanne's tonight, is it for the championship?
I was like, you can't trade.
It is, right?
10-5 for anyone unaware. 10 years in the bigs, 5 years with one particular team means you cannot be traded without permission.
Without consent.
Yeah, and listen, people know who are going to get traded, right? Like most guys are like, okay, I got a shot to be traded.
Mhm.
So
Red Sox are still looking to add a lefty
guys that are,
reliever,
like,
says Heyman.
on the edge are like, oh man, I could.
Well, one of the Rogers boys is lefty.
The players always found
Yeah,
out
it's for the belt.
before it leaked. Now it leaks before the players.
I guess we should well, I guess we're not probably going to address NXT on the red couch, but
I'm laying on the training.
who do you think is the eventual person that beats Roxanne? Okay, the Sox, I highly doubt it. It's a reliever. Although, if he wants a couple spot starts, then move to the relieving. That would work. He just seems to, like, even the GM for the White Sox was like, as a former player, he's going about this really weird and saying things I wouldn't have said, so.
Under an hour to go.
Oh, he's done more relieving than starting.
Major league players. After that, Cyrus from The Athletic joining us right now. Also check out his podcast.
Trying to see if there's any more updates that have coming out with, like, details.
Work, as I always tell you, great to have you. So I'll
AJ probably has one speed if he's on his way out.
thus far, and you can kind of go
His foot's on the gas.
this one, like a player that you're not as high on or super high on.
Yeah, there's been some teams that I'm like, Padres, Marlins,
Yeah, I guess it's easy.
Red Sox even.
Think about them like next to each other, so like comparable trades that I like better than the other. So
I think it's gonna be Julia. We haven't seen her yet, but that's been rumored. Or Stephanie Venker, another recent signee. Stephanie's like, to me, I don't know how big she is, but her presentation and her look, she just looks like a star. I've never seen her wrestle, other than like a 2-move set clip from a house show. But like, she seems like a star in the making. So yeah, if they wanted to like rocket ship her or like, bring in the next big thing and move Roxanne to the, SmackDown or Raw, yeah, she could be it. I always thought they were waiting for Cora Jade to come back so they could finally have like one of their feuds or like a team up, because that would be money. But maybe they try to make that a main roster things once Jade gets healthy, She was great against Stephanie at Forbidden Door. Stephanie? Wait.
So I really like that.
No, that's not the match I saw. Or at least I don't think so.
The Orioles do a lot of things I like.
Or was that? Did we watch that?
Didn't like the
Because that wasn't the last pay-per-view. The last one I don't think I finished.
that is down to 91 miles an hour.
But yeah, I can't remember who it was, like a couple months ago.
At its peak.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. She held her own, man. She was legit.
Walk rates aren't good, and they gave up Connor Norby and Kyle Stowers. I don't know if they're going to be great, but
Yeah, the Trevor Rogers move, I was like, they must see something they really like.
So, just generally, I like.
Or maybe they're like, we're going to use him as a bullpen guy.
They got a lot of players.
At the same time, O's have so many prospects, and they just had probably another good draft class coming in, so they had players to move.
De Los Santos, who hits tanks.
Don't hold on to those prospects too late where they lose their value.
Josh Bell is gone.
Or they start plateauing in the minors.
Robbie Snelling might be close. They got the
Yeah, he was like top 2, top 3 Rookie of the Year votes.
So I generally like what the
Then he kind of fell off. I don't know what happened with him.
Then I have to ask, because we kind of had this argument earlier. You love Kikuchi so much. He's got a 4.75 ERA.
I mean, at the very least, he could be a 5 for the O's or like a backup,
He loves
journeyman, bounce back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen. So
team possibly of all time.
either way, it's. I feel like they gave up a lot, but if they can fix him, it's a steal.
Kikuchi's a free agent. Yeah, he has better stuff. Whoop-de-doo. Better stuff doesn't always equal.
Yeah, I think the Astros gave up a lot for him for rental.
So it's like, why is Kikuchi ranked so high if the numbers don't match up? And don't say he doesn't. Oh, he throws in a pitcher's park because Toronto now. I mean, a hitter's park because Toronto now is a pitcher's park.
Yeah, I'll have to say I don't know exactly why. I mean, last year Kikuchi showed his promise.
Honestly, I should probably switch these screens.
This year,
So then it looks like I'm looking at the camera.
30 34%.
Let's
of
put
his,
this over here.
Balls in play have been hits.
Put that over there.
That Toronto defense is rated highly.
There we go.
That number should be 30%. Should be low.
I guess then it's easier to just read
I
chat
don't
over here
really
too.
know why. I'll have to say this: he does not have great command. And Fetty might have better command, but you know, Kikuchi's fastball is so many miles better than Fetty's.
There we go.
I just think that Fetty will be exposed a little bit when it comes to playoff time.
Like too many windows open right now.
Better competition at times. You know, that division is not the best. And so I just, you know,
Update. This was not trade related.
but ERA itself is not.
What did Morosi say? Ooh, Brian De La Cruz goes to the Pirates. Where's Jason at?
And Kikuchi strikes out way more batters than Fetty and has a way better fastball.
You know, I want to take you to hitting for a moment. What do you think about the Mariners and
Garrett Cole scratch general fatigue.
and also just why the Mariners
Yeah, De La Cruz, the outfielder, going to the Pirates. That's interesting. They do need some. I thought that like Jazz was a good fit for the Pirates, and then after that happened, I was like, Lane Thomas would be good for the Pirates. De La Cruz, I feel like a corner outfield, sure, but
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go there, and it's fair to say maybe that's not everything. But
all right, let's go to this.
In particular for right-handers, and we had Teoscar Hernandez leave and say I couldn't see that.
That's reported by John Heyman, so who knows?
On vacation last week, and I saw it, and it is the batter's eye. Is
Interesting though.
perpendicular to the
Are Marlins like
really bizarre.
the most active in this deadline? I feel like they are.
I don't know, you know, what you've seen.
They're literally like, we don't like what
Not as much in the past.
Kim Yang made for deals or player involvements. We're gonna get rid of the entire squad.
Baseball.
Well, my camera works with OBS good. I have to take a break now. Pup wants attention.
You also
Good
see
plan.
that
Good plan.
guys like Mitch Garver,
I've noticed lately, like I don't have the most expensive webcam. Like it's like a USB plug-in. But if my cord is like on another cord that vibrates or something, my thing will like go in and out.
they haven't been
Which is almost, I'm almost kind of laugh because I'm like, it has that effect that I think people would pay money for. But like mine just naturally does it when I don't want it to happen that way. So, because it looks like I've been hacked or like a takeover.
a little bit different because this guy he struggled a little bit the first 2 months of the season. Since then, he's hit 300.
Right-hander,
Power and speed.
I'm not even going to try that, but Shim will be part of the return going back to the Marlins. So let's see what Fangraphs has for the Pirates. See if we can find him in their system.
Strikeouts have really been the problem for Seattle. They strike out 27% of the time. It's like second or third worst in baseball. This is after the offseason.
Pirates also recently got York by giving up Quinn Priester to the Red Sox, which I think that was a win-win trade.
Good veterans with long track records, but also they're right-handers who don't strike out as much. And weirdly,
I'm not
I know
seeing
it's
him.
just one or two players, but they've been scoring a lot better since they got those two guys.
Unless I'm just missing him. I'm not even seeing him. And they're like top 40.
Got players for us. He cares about us. Our
So if
GM
that's the
cares
case, they literally got him for nothing.
believes in us.
I got Delgado one. Nice. Nice.
They struggled to play one run after they got.
When are we going to get the inaugural Hoff stream with all the bells and whistles?
You know, before I ask my question,
Or I guess even like, is there a test stream that you need to make sure stuff works?
You don't like my new dude?
I think there's a lot of people that they need to do a test stream to make sure their audio is good and stuff like that.
I know, but his look.
Even then, like I had to boost this up because I was like, well, this is talking and not media, but
I like it.
every now and again I'm like, this might be a little loud.
Scott could outlift me too, dude.
Well, I mean, that's yeah. I mean, but there's chemicals.
It might be crazy. Dude, literally it felt like every like 5 to 10 minutes there's a trade. Did you see that the De La Cruz is going to the Pirates? I think Tampa is in charge of the Marlins. He started a Marlins franchise last night. Marlins have been the most aggressive team today, or the last couple of days. Marlins saw our franchise last night and said, hold my beer. I mean, we knew the Padres would be aggressive. I feel like they always are. But still, where's the large stick? Hey, Angels, wake up. You got less than like 45 minutes. You got players to be traded. What's your deal? Once I get it all set up, I'm new to OBS. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to use my headset for now. I need a mic yet, but money is getting low. I understand, man. If you need any, like this, I don't know if you can see this, but like this mic, like comes with an arm. So then like you wheel it into the side of the desk. And I mean, it has a little cover thing, but I like this cover more than the other one because I don't want to like wear that and then have block my face. But I want to say this bundle, because it's like an easy USB plug-in. I want to say this bundle was like 40, 45. So like it was I feel like it was a really good deal, and I've been happy with it. I'm a condenser mic guy as well. I'm telling you, they fleeced the O's. I do feel like getting Counter Norby for Rogers was a bit much. But as we previously said, my best like metaphor was like prospects are like action figures. Like they're not meant to be sit there on the shelf to be admired. They're meant to be used. So if you don't have a spot for them, if you're not going to use them, trade them. They're value, man. They're valuable when you can trade them for MLB talent, you know? I want to see Eric Dangle Fairbanks after seeing what these relievers are getting in rentals. After 2-3 years. I think I want to see Diaz get moved. See what they can get for him. And the Nats, I want to see Finnegan get. I actually would be interested in adding Finnegan to the Cardinals. Especially the last 2 weeks I've spent 17,000 on computer. So yeah, don't get it. I'll say don't get anything you can't afford. You know, like if you can get a headset with like one of these on there, use that until you can save up some money and get a better one, you know? And don't be that guy that's like, I'm gonna get a $250 microphone. Like, dude, you don't even know if you're gonna like streaming in 2 months. You know? Like get decent quality, but like don't break your bank, don't sell a kidney. Roger's been asked for years though, that's the thing. Give me here. Wait, what are you talking about? Rogers. I was like, because both the Rogers are available out there in San Francisco. Yanni 2 years. Sure, a lot of a batting title. Yeah, I mean, he'd have a lot of value. I've had sit down using it with the mic on it. Yeah, I mean, Tampa still does that. So as long as your volume levels are okay, you'll be fine. Try it out, see if you like it. Trial and error.
The kind of story he's had that, you know, all things are possible. And I'm so happy for him as a person for all the things he's overcome. And that's now a really good bullpen in terms of stuff.
Yeah, I'm still rocking mine. Yeah. And Lucas Urseg in the back. I mean, Tampa was using, I feel like, his controller for a while. So that's you're already ahead of him.
In Kansas City recently. That's kind of a callback to their
volumes of pain sometimes. Yeah, I felt like you were a little quiet last night. But you know, that's something you got to deal with because I think you also stream through your console, and he's using OBS, so it's a little different. Like in OBS, you can see your levels more. Biggest cost of the PC, I had nothing to, so I had to start from scratch on it. Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm not very smart on PC stuff, so I'm not the guy to ask on that. But hopefully, you got a good deal. I actually had my brother like research the PC that I have now because he was like, are you gonna use it more for streaming or are you gonna use it more for gaming? And I'm like, I'm probably gonna use it more for streaming, but I also would like to eventually do PC gaming as well. So he was like, okay, that's all I need to know.
Wink, doesn't Snell to the O's make a lot of sense?
All right, let's refresh.
Not 100% to be back next year. Yeah, I would say.
Infielder Garrett Forrester is also headed to the Marlins.
Going to sign with the Baltimore Orioles.
Maybe though, Rubenstein, that could be his
Forrester. Maybe that's the big one.
Awesome if that's the case, but
extension.
What extension?
That's his first big move. Extending.
I'm not seeing him. Am I not on the right team?
That's his first
And hey,
no, it's Pittsburgh.
he made a big move. He took on significant money just
Weird.
now in Zach Eflin. That the old ownership group.
No, I'm back on slobs. I've been since January. Oh shit.
Zach Eflin is due 18.
Boo slobs.
That alone.
Squad said I stole the desktop. Nice. Like it was a great deal. Stole like. Because I'm like, I've definitely stole some monitors. They were just business went out of sale and they were just sitting there. So took them. That's how I have. That's how I literally have this monitor right now, and this is a great monitor.
What else do we have? Johnny Richards. What about a guy?
Okay, update me.
What about a guy like Cal Quantrill? Anyone after him? Yeah.
I feel like Cal Quantrill is like a 5. I think he's got 1 more year of control. He's okay, but he's just depth. How was Diaz not traded? How was he not traded 2 years ago when he was an all-star catcher? Yeah, great deal. Honestly, I think Rays keep low and pick up his $8 million options. I can see it. I feel like they're not out of it yet, so they want to keep some of those pieces. And if they decide to blow everything up, they can easily just do it in the offseason. Ooh, here we go. Talking about Cardinals, Hoff.
They're trying to get rid of Space, trying to get rid of Gallegos and Dylan Carlson. Not that they were going to.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of somebody on the 40 man. So Carlson's either gonna get traded or he's gonna get sent down.
That ship has sailed.
There you go. All right, we'll get to more questions.
You guys should have been. Yeah, he should have been traded last year when he had another year of control. Now he's just a rental.
Right.
And you never know when like people need catchers or not. And I feel like was it either last year or 2 years ago? Like 3 catchers got moved. Like this year, I know Jansen's been moved. Kelly's been moved. I feel like there was one more trade, but it's like to me Diaz was the best one out of them. Got to get rid of Roycroft. So Roycroft we can just send down. So I figured we would send him down. Like that would be like the Fidey trade. Be like, all right, send down Roycroft, put Fidey in his spot, and the 26 man. That was finally healthy now at the time. True. He has had some health issues. We have around him plenty that can play second base. The Rays always draft athletes, so they always have people that can play short, center, second. Rocky sucks so much it hurts. Yeah, Rockies, I have no faith in at all. They're one of the worst run organizations. It's which sucks because like they do actually make some good drafts, but it's like, you know, like Dolander's there, like Burns is there now. It's just like, oh my god, some of my favorite players are going there to die.
Number one, first glance, people were. I mean,
I just saw that, Nick.
Reaction was kind of panic and a little bit.
Ooh, Diamondbacks, hold on.
Twitter poll asking what.
Oh no, that was just putting him on IL.
5,000 responses.
Christian Walker going on the IL.
People saying they didn't like.
Burns is a red. Okay, who's the guy that the Rockies got then? That's right. Burns is a red because I'm excited. I should be able to see him probably by next year's. Rockies have incompetent owners in front office. They do, and they like are so complacent with who they have and what they do too. Oh, did they get Condon? Yeah. I feel like he's gonna be an all-star stud, and he's just gonna wait. He's either gonna get hurt out there in Colorado, or he's just gonna waste his time there. And he's gonna be like an underappreciated talent like Helton.
And who's the window itself. They're seeing Kikuchi as a guy who can come into.
I was like, who's talking? Because they briefly were talking about the Cardinals, so I'm like.
And bring a solid lefty who's throwing 97. And the guys that they gave up.
I will say, Baseball America's been really good on like keeping this stuff up to date.
I'd say that
there's a thing out there for the updated trade prospect stuff. I don't know if you follow these guys on Twitter or not.
I think it's given
X.
But the Astros are going for it, and that's why they went with Kikuchi.
I really like Charlie Condon too.
Why not, right? Listen, is their window closing? Is that also why?
He was.
Because listen,
I think he's the Georgia boy. It's crazy that his talent and his skill set right now. He was unscouted as a high school senior. Again, this might be a little bit of COVID regulation stuff like that. But the only reason he even got a chance was because this one guy saw him play in a tournament and then had a contact with the Georgia coach. And he was like, all right, I'll give him a chance as a walk-on. And then he raked and he was like, all right, let me see if I can get you some scholarship money. So you got to root for that guy. Like, that's high character right there.
Even last year, there were people saying, hey, the window's closing.
Best thing Rockies GMs have actually done was pick up Nolan Gorman and let him ball out. Well, Nolan Gorman was kind of like a failed project with the Guardians or Indians at the time. I did see that, Nick. I was kind of laughing.
They've got the train going and they're keeping it.
But yeah, was not doing good, and then he went to Colorado. I don't know if he tweaked something or not, but it was just like suddenly a light bulb went on, and that happens sometimes. So
don't have an owner who wants the window to close as long as he's
not Gorman
in charge, and that's why they pushed Altuve and
Jones.
Let's see what happens with Tucker and Bregman. But
did it twice, Jones, not Gorman.
Beginning of this year, everyone's thinking to
no, yeah, Nolan Jones.
Now they're tied at the top of the division, so it's impossible.
But yeah, I wouldn't be mad if we moved our Nolan Gorman.
Yet because they keep pumping up prospects who aren't ranked high and who keep competing. So that's a hard one to say.
They kind of honestly were kind of the same profile too. They were like a third base prospect, lefty swing, mostly power, a lot of swing and miss. Like their profiles are pretty similar. Pirates are close to a deal for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa from the Blue Jays. Well, the Blue Jays finally woke up. They're making some deals. Tampa, your boy Trevor Richards got moved.
The consensus and with people I'm talking with,
Still pretty filthy on his spin rates and such.
Likely will be not back next year. And that's just really, you talk to most people.
Anything else though?
And that's just how it seems like he's going to go test.
I feel like Dela Cruz is gonna rake for the Pirates. I just feel like in my gut he's gonna be like borderline all-star now, and it's gonna hurt.
The Astros need to kind of look at it in a way that's not
Like, I don't want more talent in my division.
that works on both ends. So then they got a whole year.
What's gonna be so funny is when Rays get the third wild card after idiots saying Rays are throwing the towel in. Dude, if they end up getting a wild card spot,
For him, he can
I'm gonna be like, who made a deal with the devil?
he's going to go look for it.
How'd you pull that off?
Probably drop a qualifying.
It'd be different though if like all their arms were getting healthy as they were making these trades, because then it's kind of like, all right, well, we're giving up runs, but we're adding basically like run prevention and giving some of our younger guys a chance to play. So
They want to sell postseason.
Rich has been a J for years. We traded him. I know, but weren't you really, really high on him?
They're going for it to some perspective, but I wouldn't say.
But yeah, he got moved today.
Hey, maybe we can get Tucker later.
Brings us back tonight.
Down the line, they just need Tucker.
So it's like, if they could start getting healthy with all their injured arms, it just feels like they bring in arms, they tweak them, they tell them to throw 4,000 spin rates, they blow out their elbows, and then they're like, all right, we burned you out, you're gone.
6-man. If JV.
Me personally on records fucked up. Oh, I thought you were high on him. Maybe you hated him.
Long season. But I wouldn't say they did these trades like, hey, what do you think, Bregman?
He was a subpar reliever.
Trying to get.
I feel like he was really good for either the Rays or the Marlins.
Michael, what are your thoughts on the rest of the division?
Like his baseball savant, he's still got some really good stuff, but
The way with what the Mariners have done so far, like adding a Randy Rosarena and a Justin Turner.
Boop, boop, boop.
The
He was an
Rangers,
opener?
At least as of right now, not doing anything crazy. Just like a very, a little drop of adding, a little drop of subtracting. What's your take on how this plays out and how those two teams have looked?
Charles McAdoo is part of the team for kind of for love.
This is the hard.
Gonna jump to number 15 on the Pirates list in the re-rank. Interesting.
Not just because they've been winning.
Oh, Jonathan Mayo, that's my boy. I need him to let me know when the update's gonna be.
So the Mariners have gone out and they've gotten they've gotten Randy. They went to get Justin Turner. These, I think, in my opinion, are smaller moves, hopefully to move the needle. But they're still dealing with injuries with J.P. Crawford. They're still dealing with an injury with Julio. And so I'm not sure exactly what the Mariners can do. They keep proving that they're going to lose games over and over, and the Astros are trying to work it. It's just
Looks like there's some drama brewing in the Chicago White Sox clubhouse.
They haven't been performing what they would like.
I mean, when you're that bad,
Bats have not been as
bound to
good,
happen. So
and the pitching's been struggling too. So the entire AL West
he had like one good month. So
no idea.
but we got Richards and Nick Anderson for Stanek. So yeah, that's right. Richards as a starter was okay. I never thought he was good as a starter. I thought he always should have been kept as a reliever.
Now, does Kikuchi get them over the edge?
But I mean, you guys utilize him as like an opener.
They get, and even if they get Yandy Diaz, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen, does that
I think we're running out of time. We got a half hour left.
Possible to know. They have to just keep slowly winning, but there is no.
Is Finnegan not going to get moved?
Oh, Michael, thank you so much.
Anderson, Flaherty? If Flaherty doesn't get moved, you got to put a big old F on the Tigers' forehead. How do you not move him and get something?
Thanks for joining us during this hot time.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Michael Schwab joining us. We'll be right back with C. Trent.
Also, Jays are now tied with Rays, I believe, for most trades. Marlins might be a trade. Damn, there's been so many. It's hard to keep up, honestly. But I feel like the Marlins are definitely up there. Marlins have been more active today.
All right, under an hour left on this show. It's been flying with
Tiger's gonna Tiger. I mean, they traded. They didn't even trade Kanaa, did they? They traded Chafin. I feel like that's the only deal that I remember them making, which is just silly.
So we'll flip you over to that channel, or you can just go there.
Just bad, GM.
Start with a comment this time. Daniel said, "Taking a shot for every Dodgers trade today. Looks like I'm gonna be sober." That was good.
Oh,
You don't like that?
I feel like everyone keeps expecting the Dodgers to sweep in and make some crazy trade too, and they just haven't. So
What else can they do?
I don't know. They haven't done anything in the past year. It's just frustrating.
Sox got someone today, right? Talking about the Red Sox?
There are other deals.
Yeah, I think they got a bullpen. They made one or two trade. I know they got the Priester from the Pirates yesterday. I think they got another bullpen guy today, but that was earlier in the day when I was out and about. So
No.
I mean, you can bring in a big player. It's okay to disrupt the clubhouse.
Right, but if you're making a smaller move.
yeah, I think the Red Sox have made some good deals.
Hayes was like a big deal in the Orioles clubhouse. They're like, I wouldn't have done that. And it's like, okay.
Meh.
No,
3 homers, 14 RBIs. Meh.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
He was replaceable.
good.
Really, it was like a
Glad you put it that way.
culture thing, I feel like. Because
We
I know
have
him and another player, from what I heard,
feels like
ran like their charity events. So
Pittsburgh Pirates picking up a couple bats.
India's still out there, damn. I mean, it wasn't like a heavy thing that India was going to get moved, but I thought it might be likely.
Pros and cons to those moves.
I mean, Reds have made some deals.
We will be right back with C. Trent.
You know, they got rid of, what, Montez? They got rid of... Oh, Sims! Sims, I think, went to the Red Sox today.
Lucas Sims, who Cyrus called, what, the number 2?
You see Roker burn this dude on Twitter? I saw something. I can't remember what it was, though.
Big deal right there. We'll ask him about the
I thought he would have got moved, like, day one, like 2 days ago, like, when it starts to pick up, but... Still out there. You know, Oakland moves some arms, but they still got their hitter there. I mean, I guess he's not an expiring, doesn't need to get moved, but you know, I feel like some of these guys, like Loreno or whatever, it was like they had some good times, and then suddenly the league figured them out, and then they never adjusted back, and they become like DFAs. Like, I feel like he could become that type of player, but who knows?
What's up, FT fam? We're back. We're all staring at our phones, obviously, to see what's coming up next. C. Trent Rosecrans from The Athletic joining us right now. C. Trent, great to have you on. First, let's start, of course, with your ball club that you follow, the Cincinnati Reds. They traded.
Oh, interesting.
Your colleague, Cyrus was
The Pirates trade their 17th and 18th ranked prospects to acquire De La Cruz, who's got team control for 3 more seasons.
How good he's looked.
I guess he's kind of making fun of him. Says Padres trades their number 2, 4, 5 for a true rental. Although they also got another piece other than just Scott, so. But yeah, definitely some teams that, you know, giving up way more value.
He doesn't even know where those are going, and those can go outside of the zone. And so you look at a high strikeout rate, high walk rate.
Trade rumors bringing up the rumors about Verdugo again.
Seems like almost every time.
I don't know him. He seems like a douche. But like in the offseason, he got a bad rep as being like a clubhouse jerk, but I feel like Jesse Winker got that too, so who knows? I feel like it all comes down to just how your clubhouse is run, whether it's like young kids or veterans or serious like the Yankees or loose like the Rays.
What is the state of the Reds fan base in your mind, given that they certainly don't seem like
But yeah, there's definitely some players that I feel like need to get moved here in the next half hour.
I mean, it's not like a full-on sell, but it's certainly not the Reds believing in this year's ball club, right?
I just can't wait to see trades that didn't happen. What the potential trades for Isaac? Yeah, I like the De La Cruz deal. Yeah, I think that was a good move. I also want to try and trade Cruz Rogers, see if I can do more. Verdugo, bash Boston's fans. Effing base the Rays. Hometown that was uncalled for. He bashed them?
I think that's more for him.
Why was it uncalled for? Was it true? He's probably like, Rays fans suck. They never show up to the ballpark. Be like, yep, he's right. Sorry you're upset by that.
Making these kind of moves. So the Reds have traded in the last 24 hours.
I mean, I don't blame him for that, especially when he came from Philly, where those fans show up.
It's not like a sell-off.
You know?
I don't know that they're significantly worse than they were before these moves.
C. Trent or Trent? Because we had
whatever you want to call me.
Yeah,
well, typical Georgia fan can't even figure out what their name is, but that's besides the point.
Oh, I know what it is. I just don't want to confuse you.
Okay, Bob. Hey, Bob. Let me ask you a question about the Reds.
You can go Trent or C. Trent. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is. Oh, damn. We like less than 25 minutes left, y'all.
Okay. So is this...
All right, who do we want to get moved? Do we have any mock drafts, or not mock drafts, mock trades right now that you like? Like, who do you think Flaherty was a good fit for right now? I know it's hard, a lot of pieces moving. You can join a team and stay. It's nice here without bashing your former team, especially when you're still in. But I mean, what did he say though? If he said like, well, fans suck, they never show up, he is correct. Do you need to see that? Say that? No, you don't. But if somebody asks you, you know, you're allowed to have opinion, and I would rather people be honest and give their opinions than give the like cliche answers. Like, I hate that stuff.
Actually compete, because I picked the Reds to win the division this year.
Yeah, but the Reds that you
Another Marlins trade impending.
True, but I mean that's happened.
And I think
Craig Mish. I think that's a beat writer for the Marlins too. Oh my God, more trades coming. This is wild.
especially the outfield, that's where the money needs to go to. This is
Who else they got left to trade?
They spent money on.
I'm like going through their lineups. Like first baseman move, Jazz center field move. De La Cruz was like left field moved. They already moved Arias earlier in the year. He was like their second baseman. They don't really have a shortstop to move. They had like Tim Anderson. Who is their third baseman? Who's their catcher? I don't feel like they had anything there. They moved one of their healthy starters in Rogers. They moved their closer. They moved, I think, 2 other bullpen arms. Like, they basically moved their 26 man if they had more than 2 years experience.
Yeah, they're not going to spend that kind of money.
Okay.
Marlins trade their ball boy to the Rays for
That's where they need to
a clubhouse manager to be named later. Luzardo, I think, is still hurt, though.
third base side.
Anderson been gone, I thought.
That is what they need to look for. And
No, he's hadn't been on the team for a couple of years.
players have agency. So
The manager, Skip Schumacher, wins manager of the year. I think they offered him a contract extension. He basically was like, "No, I'm gonna finish my contract out and I'm gonna get out of here." And he's gonna be a coveted manager too.
sell and finding those kind of guys, but I don't know. I think
Tampa,
it's a
since
valid question, AJ,
it's a year where I want the Rays to trade a piece away, they probably won't.
but I think they will have
Aren't
some to-
giving cash. No, they were in talks for an extension, and he basically was like, "Nah, dude, I don't trust what you've been doing." So
I think that would be.
he'll be gone
that is
probably
one
after this
question
year.
that answers to be seen.
Is this enough? Is this enough for the Reds, or is there?
Skip knew the Marlins is a terrible organization. Well, I mean, he got his manager's chance.
You should
Jeter was there at the time. Kim was there at the time. But since they've, I mean, Bendick or whatever his name is the kind of falls under that Rays umbrella.
Connor Capel
But I just feel like ownership is so full of shit.
to fill in.
It's never gonna work.
If Joey Weimer say he's
I'm saying we're not giving them Kevin Cash for a ball boy.
10 and 4A guys, they have
No. He meant the Marlins trading somebody.
like, so it is a step up. I honestly think at this point you sell off anything that's not for certain going to be in 20.
Mets acquiring
That is
Razabon from the Marlins.
bring back a pretty impressive return.
That's acquiring.
I like
That was
Martinez has done
Tampa even kept this guy.
has some first
Is this the guy that's like old, but he's like kind of a rookie, but he's like 35?
versus as a starter this
Is that this guy?
year. And
I think I was reading about him earlier.
guy that you could go for. I'd heard talk about like maybe some people interested in Jamer Candelario, and that's a deal I would make certainly.
Yeah, he's 34. It's funny that I'm calling him old when he's technically a year younger than me. Yeah, he's like average velocity was like 96.2 or something, or 98.2 or something crazy. And I was because I remember thinking, man, at your age, my elbow would fall off. You must be a freak of nature.
One for you, 'cause
I wanted to trade him. LOL.
down in Tampa Bay.
Tampa, you need to like tweet out like, I guess the Marlins were watching my franchise rebuild last night because I moved a lot of the same pieces.
Competitive for some time.
Oh no, they still have what's his face, Berger, because they were talking about moving Bell. Maybe they moved Berger to first, which was kind of funny because that's what I told you to do last night. I was like, either move him to first or make him your DH.
Selling off pieces left and right. So what did you get out of being down there during that, surprise sell-off, I would say?
Or Jake Berger, yeah, who got traded there last year.
Are you ever surprised?
I feel like he's stuck there too. Let me look,
I guess not.
like really, I mean that's what they do. That's what
because I think because he was a White Sox that kind of like came up like as an older prospect. I think.
Like Neander said, it's like
Let me check.
from 2014.
And then yeah,
2019,
I don't like Berger as a player, to be honest.
2019, where they didn't make the playoffs, and they didn't want to go another 5 years when it looked like.
I don't like guys that have a lot of power strike out too much, especially in today's where like the shift got banned and speed is part of the game again. It's like, well, you don't have that, and you don't put the ball in play, so
And 2 really bad teams and a bunch of mediocre.
yeah, he's
With a couple
making nothing. He's 28 and he's under team control for another 4 years.
more balanced, but that
So poor guy's stuck.
most of the heavyweights are, and I don't see. Again, the one thing the Rays have been very good at doing in the last couple.
I'm sitting here looking like, who's of any cost to the Marlins that is actually healthy?
To like 89 games, which is what.
Jesus Sanchez, I think right now makes the most money as a player that's still technically healthy, and he's only making 2.1 mil. So That's kind of crazy. Berger could be nice in Tampa. Berger got hurt before he was going to be called up, or so for 2 years after that. He was called up after they made his first time in White Sox. Marlins only made one move. I haven't. Eloy is having such a shitty year though. I think he's hitting like 220. So, and he's got money on his contract. So unless the White Sox wanted to eat it, which they won't, he won't get moved.
Yeah.
Although I think he does have an opt out in like 2 years or something.
But yep, it is what it is. It's business in Tampa Bay as they're getting a new ballpark. But
I want to move Cruz, lol. You want to move Eloy to the O's? Oh God, I don't think that fits their style though.
Was that?
Lots
Is that
of Reds
'cause-
fans were there. Really,
Lots of Reds
honestly.
fans. I was gonna say, yeah.
They hadn't been there since 2017. Ellie De La Cruz is worth the price of a ticket. So yeah, it was interesting. They had Florida Gator night one night, and I didn't bark at anybody, which was progress, I thought.
You also probably didn't hump their leg, but that's good. Good, you're learning.
Yeah.
Also, let's not forget the Reds used to be in Sarasota and Plant City, so there's a lot of
Right.
And
team that
Tampa.
grew- Yeah,
And Tampa, for
So-
those a little older than you, they had
Yeah.
a pretty good team.
They're saying
Yep, that explains it.
in Baseball America's new ratings or whatever, there's 64 prospects that have been traded, but 0 in the top 100, which is weird to me because I was like, on baseball pipeline, MLB pipeline, Snelling was like 47. So maybe because they've added in so many of the draft prospects that it's knocked stuff down.
Later.
And I don't know if he's had that great of a year in the system, but
Let's get caught up on some trades.
that is pretty nuts that, you know, according to them, no top 100 prospects have been moved. Because usually I feel like there's 1 or 2 trades that happen.
We're gonna go here first.
Be right back, Nato? Okay.
Reporting Baltimore Orioles are finalizing a deal to acquire
Jesus Sanchez needs to cut down on swing and a miss. Working on the defended pit. Oh, that's who the Rays gave Stanek deal.
clarity.
Jesus Sanchez.
Jimenez, same division, very different player. Loy Jimenez from the Chicago White Sox.
Wait, that actually happened?
Or Orioles.
Shut up. I thought you were brainstorming.
Listen,
I mean,
do
you
what
watch
this says
more White
more?
Sox than
This
anyone.
says more about the White Sox wanting to get rid of him for me.
Zach Littell says Ray should dangle as another 2 year. He's not really that good, though.
Like honestly,
He's like we've given up on him. He goes to the Rays, they reinvent him kind of thing.
He has to DH. He can't
but you
play
have
outfield.
O'Hearn at first. He's pretty good.
I don't think that makes sense for the O's.
No,
You
he
can't
has
play
to
the
DH.
outfield.
It's a bat. It's an extra.
Baltimore O's are finally deal to acquire outfielder Eloy Jimenez from the White Sox, source tells ESPN. That's from
He's a
Passan.
free agent at the end of the year.
No, he's not.
I think
That's it?
he. I think he
Eloy?
has an
No.
option, but they're probably not going to pick it up.
Eloy's on a terrible deal, I thought. Let me check.
No, yeah. Team option next year. So this is it. So it's just a
Oh, rental.
extra bat.
Oh, it
Extra
is a
bat.
club option. I thought it was a player option.
I'm sure there'll be some money exchanged as well.
Oh, he's going to make it 13.833.
You don't think they go and get a starter?
I feel like dude's hitting like less than 200.
No. Orioles, no. I think they're done.
Really?
Wow, what a move.
Rodgers and
He's hitting 240. He's at a negative .69 WAR.
Not play out for a team that's going for a
That
win.
is nuts, Nick.
You know, unfortunately,
He was so bad. I was like, there's no way he's getting moved.
as always, but when he's
Because I almost put him on the list, but
Listen, he doesn't play. He is not going to play for the White Sox. They're like
yeah, he's the same issues with Robert. Like, he just can't stay healthy.
like the end of the year coming up.
Close
stretch
this.
for the White Sox. Eloy Jimenez wasn't going to play. I'm sorry. I did a game on Saturday. He didn't start.
so they were done. So it was
I
just
feel like
He's a DH only at this point.
We tried.
I don't know if they platoon him or what, but
maybe the Orioles can keep him.
they
happy.
must literally be giving him away for nothing. And they're like, well, the Orioles have so many prospects. One of them's bound to work.
2021.
This feels like a player to be named later type of deal.
They win the division. They're going into the postseason. They're 4 best players on the team.
Chuck, I don't think Robert gets moved. I really don't.
Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, Yoan
If he
Moncada.
did, I feel like it would have happened by now. Like, he would have been an earlier piece.
Next year.
Either that or he's like to the Dodgers last minute 6:01.
Is out. Eloy Jimenez and Yoan
Because, yeah, we got less than 15
Moncada
minutes.
Go to camp on a minor league deal next year. Fighting to get a job.
Yeah, he needs to rework himself.
Abreu makes sense because of his age. The others don't. Like
No,
Eloy is
that's what I'm saying.
27 years old.
It doesn't
That's a
make
weird
sense.
trade.
What happened? This was the middle of their rebuild. These were the 4 guys that they were, especially Eloy and Moncada and Anderson. These were like
Is there a player option or a no trade clause? Got to be. What do you mean for Robert?
they all 4 could be gone.
Robert just hadn't been that good, and he's got multiple years. He's got 2. I think he's got 1 more year, And then he's got 2 club options. Like, the money's not that bad, but if he's not going to stay healthy, no one's going to take a risk on him. Like, he's only had 1 season where he's played more than 100 games. He does not stay healthy. So you have to go to a team that, like, has depth or has, like, a DH spot available so they can, like, use him there. Like, he's kind of like how Buxton is bad. Like, got a lot of talent. If he can stay healthy, he's an all-star, but he just hasn't stayed healthy and has struggled and been streaky, so that's weird. I did not think Eloy would get moved. But then again, I also thought those were player options, which I was like, well, he's obviously going to take. Phillies are getting Tanner Banks from the White Sox.
White Sox are trying. This is good. This is what you need to do.
White Sox are picking it up. They got the clock on the board.
Since we've spoken, they've done quite a bit to completely get rid of the 2024 Marlins.
I'm like, are the White Sox, like, half of their 26 man gone?
Banks. I mean, probably a guy that can thrive elsewhere, or at least pitch okay elsewhere. He's had an okay year.
I don't even know what Tanner Banks is, but then again, it's the White Sox, so who's paying attention?
Yeah, he's been okay out of the bullpen. He's
Like a lefty arm?
He's a length guy. He's a lefty that can give you multiple.
Still looking at what teams are giving up. I mean, you got to attempt, and it doesn't even seem like the White Sox are. No, White Sox are literally going to break the record for most losses. Like, we were giving the Athletics shit last year and the year before, but White Sox are even worse.
He's probably just stacking up some depth, no, Kratz? Because here's the thing that people forget. You can't make.
I'm sure Banks has got options too, so if they need to call him down and stash him in AAA, they can.
Lose a pitcher or two, you're going to your minor league system. So if you can stack up some depth, it's not the worst thing in the world.
And I know that to franchise only, LOL.
All right, our next guest is ready.
I was just looking at his photo, and I'm like, he looks like a bullpen arm.
Right now, let's talk.
I guess we're on the page, so.
Chelsea, great to have you on. What's the deal with the Nats? I mean, the big one.
Thanks. 32-year-old relief pitcher who's making no money.
What do you think?
Basically.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I wouldn't be surprised if
The stats this year.
I'll go somewhere in the next few minutes, but from what I've heard,
He's got a negative WAR, but 48 innings, 4.13 ERA, 1.29 WHIP.
the kind of stuff guy that I think people
He's a
are willing to pay for.
middle of the game
They
arm,
tend
you
to
know.
keep him as a cheap closer for next year too, but we'll see.
He's just depth. Probably his options.
Is there a chance that they could have, like, was there talk that there maybe have been?
I feel like it's getting dark here.
Some, like, big
I don't know if the
move, like,
storm's finally rolling in or what, but we might have to turn on the lights.
for 25,
Ronnie
26.
Gundy is reported to be staying, but 9 minutes left.
But was there
You're like,
You know, I
holding
heard
your
some
breath.
rumblings that that's something that's on their
Well, I guess the
radar.
question is, do you want him to stay, or do you want them to move him and get something
Thing that might be on their radar. They've got
in a deadline where certain teams are doing great and others are giving up a ton of talent? So,
next off season, so I don't think they're going to.
welcome back, NATO.
Long-term deals at this point, but I do think that's.
Are the Cardinals going to make one last trade? Is Kyle Finnegan going to get moved? Is Jack Flaherty literally going to not get moved at this deadline? Because that'll be a massive failure for the Tigers.
Fans about what they're getting with Lane Thomas, both as a player, you know, the scouting report.
Although they said another Marlins trade in,
Yeah,
pending,
I
but
think he's, you know, it's easy to say.
we still haven't seen that one yet.
He's a little bit underrated. You know, he's a legit 25 threat if he stays healthy for a whole season at this point. He's a guy who also has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I think he.
You know that photo of Will Smith and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when the house is empty and he's standing there just like looking around? They just said this is like Sandy Alcantara in Miami right now. 8 minutes.
So, yeah, he's a really good baseball
No, Tigers themselves are a massive failure. Yeah, I mean they have some
big addition that
Riley Green. I can't remember who they drafted that I felt like was pretty good,
I just got to say this. I know we're
but
talking
they
about
got some pitchers. But
for lack of moves, but the Orioles.
like every team, even if you suck, you're gonna look into some talent. This is so weird because most deadlines I'm pissed they're selling for prospects, but when they got a playoff run to make and they don't add, yeah. But this year we get a wild card and they're selling and getting better for right now. I mean they're clear. Like I think the variable that a lot of people are considering now because they're in the now and they're in this season is that like I can think of 3 major players that are going to be free agents next year. Soto, who's a once in a generation kind of talent that came up when he was 19 and is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be 26 hitting free agency. So that's like the Bryce Harper, Manny Machados. Corbin Burns, who's been a stud, one of the best pitchers in the game right now. He's also going to be a free agent. And then other pieces like Pete Alonso are out there. If somebody takes a chance on Goldschmidt, if he can bounce back or be like a depth piece somewhere, like there's some nice players. So there's definitely a lot of teams that are clearing books right now that can make major splashes in free agency at the end of the year. But we're focused on playoffs right now. These teams are playing the long game as well as the short game.
I think that's what you can do. And you know, the big thing for them is Eflin and Rogers are both under control next year. I mean, they're probably going to lose Corbin Burns to free agency. Kyle Bradish is going to be out until late next year.
Like I said, Eflin's Savali free up, so it's Rasmus Spriggs. Isaac for Morel, I dig. Hurt, but I'm excited. We also got Jason Clone in the deal with the slot system. Honestly, aside from the Randy trade, I've been happy. Yeah, I feel like you haven't done bad at all. I mean, I think the Cubs kind of fleeced you on that trade because I'm not a big Morel guy, but then again, some of these trades, it's like you got to go team by team and like see the prospects that they got in, and it's just not enough time to do all that.
Where are they going to play? That's the question for me with all these Orioles prospects. They have all these prospects. Eventually, someone's got to come up. Like they had a chance to bring Jack.
They got to trade him. They got to trade him.
Second base, right? He's
play him or trade him.
Still in Norfolk. So
that's the thing that I like a lot about the Padres GM. Is that it's like they usually have good prospects, but they're like, hey, we don't have a spot for you, so let's move you for pitching or let's move you for a hitter. Like that's what you're supposed to do, and then continue to develop players and boost them back up to take those spots. Mostly, I don't know too much about the prospects from the. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really does until like the dust settles and you can start to read their player profiles. I don't know about Fleece because we got relief pitcher and I think pitching prospect too. Yeah, but you got like a lot of these things, like you got prospects that I've never even heard of. So they're either like very low, like low A or high A, or like 19-year-old teenagers. So they're like, to me, that's like a long shot. Unless they're like a top 5 round pick. Who are they?
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but I think you're right. I mean, this hasn't answered some of the biggest questions that face them in terms of where these.
But I mean, like in that trade, I feel like your main thing was Morel, and I'm just not in on him at all.
Hey, last one for you.
No question, Isaac is a big loss.
Jack Flaherty's going to the Dodgers, and Garrett Crochet is definitely not being traded.
Whoa, Flaherty to the Dodgers? So finally, we got that last-minute Flaherty trade.
Just done here. Both, I know you covered the starters, and then also, if you can, just quickly touch on the relief pitching crew that they have, including Craig Kimbrell in the 9th inning.
Crochet is not getting traded.
I don't think they're going to be very satisfied. I think this is going to be one of the angstier days of.
My eyes are hurting right now.
You know, Dominguez really helps, but I think they
really
know what they have.
Biggie, whatever his name is. I don't know. I hadn't heard of him.
Mark for me, particularly in October, and it doesn't look like they've gotten somebody to help that. So, you know,
like I said, there's been so many arms moving and players moving. It's so, especially this year, it's so hard to keep track of all these prospects. Hassan, breaking, Jack Flaherty to the Dodgers.
I think it's going to feel like a little bit of disappointment, but they've been good at evaluating their young.
I'm just going to laugh when the Tigers get back like a bag of chips and a pop machine because they waited too long.
Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us. It's always great to talk to you and enjoy these last few minutes of whatever comes out.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
Robert Murray, Dodgers are acquiring Kevin Kiermaier from the Blue Jays. So there's your new favorite, your second team, your NL team, Tampa.
Nationals and
since that's your boyfriend.
And you can check out.
So Kiermaier, man, so they got Kiermaier if they can stay healthy, and Tommy Edman if they can stay healthy. Like they just picked up 2 Gold Glove defenders.
Jeff Passan reporting that Jack Flaherty is going to the Dodgers.
Of course, Dodgers get Jack. Yeah, I know. I thought he was going to go there in the offseason anyway.
It's a big move.
It's a great pickup.
It is, especially for a short-term pickup. I mean, the year he's having.
I would love to see what the Tigers are getting.
You slot him in behind Glass now. Yamamoto, if he comes back, Kershaw, wherever they get out of him.
Mueller been good.
Makes way too much sense. He's a Cali guy.
There's a lot of options there.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a big pickup.
Literally, when we did the offseason signings or whatever, I was like, oh, he's going to the Dodgers. KK is retiring after the season. Give him one more run, man.
Orioles knew
go out with the ring.
Could run out of steam at that point. He hadn't pitched much the prior few years. He looks like the Jack Flaherty that we saw a few years back when he was a Cy Young.
I haven't seen him play, but I'd like to hear that because it was just sad watching him fall off and
the velocity, the break,
perfect place to go to get a ring.
What it used
Especially right now, when it feels like they don't really have
Or in
like a
terms of
set outfield.
his
I think Pajes was like their center fielder they were running out every day.
the way he's approaching hitters. would
I
say
thought that was kind of why they got
Pages
Edmund as well, is for like insurance for center and short and second base with Mookie being out.
Return soon because it had to be decent, like we've mentioned.
All right,
If he gets to free
got a minute
agency
left.
with the Tigers, they offer him a qualifying.
Larry finally got moved. Tyler and Angels, did you guys like pull a Tampa and fall asleep?
The Dodgers
What
gave
the
up,
fuck,
and
dude?
This is exactly why you do
They
it.
traded Estevez and they're like, oh, I'm going on vacation. What's the deal?
Starters who signed in that similar range. Montas was one of them, but Flaherty was the prize, and they should get something pretty good for him.
Yes, and
Tyler Anderson, where are you going?
One job, Yankees.
I should thought Anderson would have been good in Dodgers as well, but
Flaherty and the Dodgers got him. I love Twitter battles like between teams and teams fans. It's great.
One dude that I mentioned earlier at least gets that.
Angels still think it's All-Star break. Probably. They're like, wait. I thought we had another day.
Double.
Yeah,
Like, no, you moron.
Law, what? Law?
What? It's got all
No,
the drinks
I know, but
together.
that's not a shot.
No, I know
Don't do a
that's not
shot of Long
shot.
Island iced tea. Don't do
Yeah, I
a
won't
shot
do
of
anything
Long
for
Island
you.
iced tea.
No.
Ooh, Tampa or NATO. Carlos has been traded to the Rays.
I mean,
Tampa. Guess what outfielder you just got?
It missed. Whatever. But this trade hits. Okay.
Let's see how what the thing is from Mark Feinstein.
But he
My
can
man.
pitch game 1 for you in a
Good.
season series. He won't for
They
them.
traded Shohei and Freddie.
Pending. Angels learned from last year
Now let's sum up the Dodgers.
after they traded for what 4 guys and DFA'd them. Now I'm scared. I mean, the last time we sent you an outfielder, he was kind of good, right?
Dodgers
He
picked
turned out pretty well, right?
Ahmed Rosario, Tommy Edman,
I think you know his name, right?
and Jack Flaherty. It's pretty good. Pretty
They're
good job.
revamping. And they'll get Mookie Betts back soon.
Obviously, they got a lot still on the way back. There's going to be some DFAs on the current
Seriously.
roster.
There's gonna be
Now
some
I'm scared.
big
Enjoy your right fielders,
rings
Tampa.
that were there for like a
I don't
week.
even know who is in your outfield right now.
Nick Ahmed.
Nick Ahmed hit a big homer.
I actually looked at his fielding lately. He's not really good anywhere right now. Before I thought he was an average center fielder and a good right fielder. Now he's like not good at anything.
Stop for the Dodgers.
Lau got right field, Sire in center. Isn't Lau injured?
Maybe Edman.
Lau?
Maybe Mookie. Or you're saying Mookie.
Palacios we also traded to you, and he's like a fifth outfielder.
But also just lastly.
DeLuca, I feel like if it's the same guy, was like a failed outfield prospect for the Guardians.
As they should. They should be a
So-
contender next year at least for a playoff spot.
At the very least, Carlson will end up being a platoon outfield.
Making it this year, so you trade away.
Although he hadn't really hit at all, so.
Because also Ken Rosenthal reported while we were chatting.
All right, let's see what.
Garrett
if we can get
Brooks
more.
Not going anywhere. Didn't work out. So he stays with the White Sox. So
So wait, so the Padres got Martin Perez.
Ooh, Luis Garcia goes from the Angels to the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get a bunch of them coming in right now. We got Sean Armstrong.
from the Angels to the
Ray
Red Sox,
Squire.
that one was a lock as he was going to
I think that's it.
this year.
So you got Carlson, and the Cardinals got Sean Armstrong.
Under
so,
contract for next year. Will
got some
stay
bullpen help.
for that championship journey.
That same guy. This is Johnny
Anyway,
DeLuca from the Dodgers.
quick
Speed,
break.
great glove.
Let's go over what the
Or
Mets and the
speed, great
Yankees
defense,
did
nice
with
pop.
Keith
Eh.
McPherson from
I think that's all you guys go after. Armstrong gone, yes. Oh boy. 'Cause I'm assuming he's not having a good year. Let's go look at his contract. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I'm like, okay, he's probably a middle innings guy. He's going to take over that Geo spot since Geo's been
All right,
terrible,
we've hit
and we
time.
DFA'd him.
What's up, YouTube fam? We're here for another 25-ish minutes, then we've got the baseball American.
All right, Sean Armstrong, only making $2 million, so he's nothing.
What we're talking about here with
Pay $1 million. He's 33.
unless we get some big trades coming through, you're going to have some really happy fan bases. Like, I think the Dodgers should be really happy.
Yeah,
with that,
5.4 ERA. So basically, we just dumped him.
in my
We
mind,
dumped him.
Right? You have a high leverage arm in coach.
It was a dump for a dump.
A top end starter in Jack Flaherty.
So
Could you make a case?
kind of bittersweet because he needed to go. So at least we got something,
Okay. Yeah. you
but
can
we didn't really get anything
Edmonds more
compared to what we
play every
probably could have got from him a year ago.
out how
So
the fans are feeling.
that kind of sucks, but
Red
we
Sox
dumped him.
fans Are feeling, how are Pirates fans feeling?
Hopefully he bounces back, honestly.
Brian
Hopefully he
Dozier,
does something because I thought he was a good kid.
IKF.
IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Hi.
And then Martin Perez
Hi.
was on that team. They shipped him to the Padres.
Yeah.
Hi.
Well, they've been shipping.
He's like, your deadline's over. Come walk me.
Quinn Priester yesterday.
Girl, we already went for our doggy park.
Zero
Been
top
early.
100 prospects.
Think you get to go again?
Pirates needed big backs.
Go later.
I know there weren't many
Taylor
available.
Cruz is
He's
back.
25.
Good player.
Yeah, yeah.
He's 25 or 26, I think.
Yeah. But listen, at least they did something.
Let me check.
True.
I'm pretty sure he's 25.
1 minute, we're going to talk.
So he's still young.
About the
Yeah, he's 25.
And then we'll get to that return for the Dodgers. Trying to find out.
Yeah, we dumped him. We dumped him.
Prospects here, including Trey Sweeney, who I know.
I wanted to get another bullpen arm, so I was hoping it was better than that, but unless something else pops up in the next couple of minutes.
He's got a 700 OPS and A-ball plus.
All right, Tigers, Jack Flaherty. Dodgers gave up
Who, Lorenzo?
Lorenzo and Trey Sweeney.
In the PCL, which
Also, Pirates send Patrick Riley to the O's for outfielder second baseman Billy Cook.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
So I think that's kind of a prospect for prospect deal.
We'll be right back with Keith.
Nothing more from the Cubs. So no Cubs moves. So we got some finally got Flaherty traded. Got a couple of outfielders swapped. Apparently Luis Garcia is going to the Red Sox. But we're not getting anything from the Angels right now. I'll take 25 over 33 arm. That's been and you're probably not gonna re-sign him anyway. So, although with your Carlson actually is in arbitration 1. I think he's making like 2.5 mil, which isn't much, but.
WFAN and on the Bleacher Report app. Here we go. I see.
Which Luis Garcia? Whatever one was on
Yankee fan.
the Angels.
Well, first off, thanks for having me back on.
I'm not even sure.
Best in the business, best baseball pod.
Charles Poole apparently been not moved. We probably moved him off season. Who knows?
I'm like, is that it? Is that it? 5 minutes after the pencils are down, that's it, Brian Cashman, please. I needed more. I needed a little more.
So Baseball America says Lozano was the number 3 prospect and Sweeney was the number 28 prospect. That's who the Tigers got in exchange for Flaherty.
When I mean high leverage, I mean like
So.
Tanner Scott. But the Yankees weren't giving up 4 prospects like the Padres did.
That's it, right? So, I mean, with the roller coaster ride that
We dumped Carlson.
in the 9th inning,
Got Armstrong, who, rental depth in case we get more injuries. That's basically the deal.
Somebody that can seal the deal if we think we're winning games in October. I think they have a lot of faith.
Probably move him in the offseason. There's not. I mean, if you can, he's basically like a reclamation project. You'll give him a half season to see if anything happens. Let him play, see if he can improve. If he doesn't, you just non-tender him because he's got 2 years left. They can move Yandy offseason for sure. 25 is looking nice with a full rotation, healthy and loaded. Yeah, I don't think the Rays had a bad trade deadline at all. They got rid of a lot of talent, but they got players, prospects back. They got some opportunity players back like Carlson. So we'll go in a little bit, okay?
The Dodgers strike again.
Either that or you're hungry. I can't tell.
They make moves that the Yankees should be making, and they gave us Juan Soto. They go and get Dylan Cease. They go get Luis Arias. They go.
He's like, did I get traded? Did I get traded? I get to stay, right?
And
Get traded.
one of the closers
Got
that
lucky.
wasn't
Got
gonna
lucky.
walk
You were
out.
on the block, but you didn't get traded.
Where was that going to be? Were you going to get Robert
You
Suarez
didn't get
for the
traded.
Padres? We're just going to take him. He's
You're
gonna
still a
walk.
Cardinals fan.
It's a walk, dudes.
Carlos
Good and bad thing.
Yankee fan.
Might be the first deadline overall I'm actually happy with, minus losing. I mean, honestly, some of the, if you're a seller, the deadlines can be fun because it's like, prospects are like shiny new toys. And you're excited to see what they can be.
They're sticking with Clay. I also wanted another bat.
But then there's also where it's like when you're like that, you're like, why didn't you sell this guy? You should have got something for him. He's going to walk in free agency, so it can also be frustrating.
Friday when he hits Yankee Stadium, he's built for the bright lights.
Ooh, wait a minute.
Giancarlo Stanton just got scratched.
Pirates are trading Martin Perez to the Padres. That's kind of a win-win. Like, gives the Pirates, or gives the Padres depth. Martin Perez hasn't really done much for the Pirates, and he actually makes like $8 million, so he's actually their most expensive starter. So they wanted to get rid of his money, basically. Rays do a bit of both, but when we are in a great spot to add a bat, they never do. Yeah. I feel like the last couple of years, the market's been really like, it's really been adjusting. Well, this year it was like, it went crazy.
Winker and then a ton of pitchers, actually. Paul Blackburn, Phil Maton, Ryan Stanek. I'm talking about the last week and change. Maton's a little further back. And
I feel like the Cardinals had Luis Garcia. Am I wrong on that, Nato? Like 3-4 years ago we had him.
For the Marlins looks pretty damn good. Definitely.
I feel like that's the guy.
They've done a
Or David Peralta.
takeover of their bullpen because they
Are you throwing a fit?
They were like, okay, wait, we're good. Let's get a new.
He's like swinging the football around.
So, do you like what they did?
Because if that's the guy I'm thinking, man, he throws hard and he's got a pretty dirty slider. I think he actually became like our closer in the wild card game against the Padres. But I can't remember. I think I'm mixing him up with somebody else.
Mets fans are not happy with the deadline because they feel like this is a team of destiny and you're supposed to go all in. I think David Stearns is realistic.
I said the last good bat the Rays traded for at the deadline was Pat Burrell. A long time ago.
He got rid of some guys.
Hey, didn't they get Fred McGriff? But that was probably before that.
Was their bullpen. These guys are scoring double-digit runs and putting up double-digit.
All right, maybe you're hungry. It is 6 o'clock.
Lineup is one of the best lineups in baseball since June. They needed to fortify the bullpen, and now they have guys like Jose Busto, who we saw last night. They were stretching him out potentially to be a starter. I think going out and getting Paul Blackburn, that solves that. He stays in the bullpen. And then you will see what happens with the guys that they have. They added 5 right-handed pitchers, Phil Maton, Ryan Stanek. You actually just mentioned Brazoban, Tyler Zuber, and I just mentioned Blackburn. And then also they bring in a guy who was a villain in Jesse Winker just a few years ago. Mets fans hated that guy. Mets fans still hate that guy. They're waiting for him to have his moment, and I think he will. This Mets team, I think, is right in the thick of the wild card hunt for the rest of the year, no matter if they stumble or whatnot. But I think after seeing the Diamondbacks last year, and everybody loves to bring up the Nationals and their slow start when they won it. Why can't the Mets make some noise this year and get back to a World Series? They can hit.
All right, I gave her some food. Maybe she'll chill out.
It's tough to
As before that, I don't know if that was a deadline deal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they traded for McGriff on a deadline deal, but that was like when the team was in its infancy.
What you've seen lately out of
The Giants are getting Mark Knopf from the Tigers. Finally.
they've got enough to compete for the rest of this.
Reds have traded outfielder Austin Slater to the Orioles.
All right, who's got a better chance at a World Series? Real quick, Mets or Yankees?
Look, and I went to the Giants.
The Yankees.
Interesting.
I mean, New York is a crazy place. There are
So
people.
yeah, you're starting to get some of these like more smaller minor trades coming in. Phillies are sending for Gola to the White Sox for Tanner. Oh, that was the other piece in the Tanner Banks deal.
For the Yankees, but now the Yankees are 3-0 since that Chaz news broke.
How did Kyle Finnegan not get moved?
I think in the American League.
How did Tyler Anderson not get moved?
Braves go out and get Soler. You see the Braves like
Brooker, Diaz.
split in Queens and not
Kind of weird, man.
give it up to the Mets after how they lost.
I need to check the weather real quick. Asking price too high? I mean, I guess so. They must have met their puke point and they said, nope, not doing it.
Expecting to perform.
I gotta check the weather real quick.
When he gets right, obviously Soto and Judge. I mentioned Garrett Cole when he's going right. Like I think the Yankees in the American League, they're the betting favorites, and if they play like they're supposed to play in October, they can get there.
I like it, Keith. Great stuff. Thanks for joining us, dude. You can listen to Keith, obviously, late night on WFAN, and give him a follow at Keith_McPherson. Appreciate you, man. See you soon.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. Later.
Thank you. Later. Keith McPherson with us. Jonathan Papelbon joining us next. We'll get Pap on what the Red Sox did in just a moment. And I can kind of give you a little recap. So 2 relievers, 1 starter, that would be Paxton, and 1 reliever in Sims, who obviously
You need to calm down, woman.
really like.
Just threw up in my bedroom.
Backup catcher in Danny Jansen.
Reds traded for Slater just to trade him to the O's later. Wait, what? I don't think they traded for him earlier. But I thought they signed him. I'm still shocked Isaac was moved before.
Well, Red Sox fans are never.
And they're very different fans.
Paredes? Dude, when you say Isaac, I think of the first baseman prospect.
I feel like they probably are in a
For, I think of the Reds.
their percentage chance of making the playoffs, both of those teams.
All right, I gotta check the weather because I feel like we had a storm rolling in pretty bad.
It wasn't a big splash.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning, +3.
Understandable, right?
Oh, that looks a little bit north of us.
Not a
Take shelter.
Remember a few months back, we're talking about Pete Alonso, Vladdy, like those names were not available. Even Luis.
Large
Robert,
hail.
apparently.
Torrential rainfall.
None of the big starters really. I mean,
Flood watch.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
None of the big starting pitchers.
Can I catch a break?
Bats.
Yeah, I know.
Red Sox, you can make a case for a lot of different things. All right.
All right, whatever.
Jonathan Papelbon with us. Let's get his take on it. Obviously,
Isak. Oh my God.
on Nesson and the whole deal. He's shaking his head, so I know how he's going to feel. We are still on national TV.
I don't know who that is that you're talking about, because there was a guy. It's like something Isaac's his last name, and he was like a first baseman guy.
I've got nothing.
I think he's a top 100 prospect. So
Sims, it's like first of all, I'm gonna get started on the Sims kid. It's like buying a
trying to see if anything else pops in.
that it's broke, but it might be fun to fix it, you know.
Diamondbacks acquired Floro from the Nats.
But man, there was so much, in my opinion, there was so much more that needed to be done.
Eric Silva is headed back to the Giants for the Mark Cannon trade.
How bad his hands were wrapped behind his back.
The Nats are getting Andres Champaro from the Diamondbacks. Yeah. Just some prospects. I feel like you gotta go team by team. You gotta go through your team, see who you actually added. Go to their profiles on Fangraphs or Pipeline if they're there. You know, hope they're at least in the top 30 or 40 that you can read something about them. But otherwise, you can't really make the best thing until you see all these players' profiles.
I think Flaherty was the last stud that was available, and I just don't think we were willing to give up enough for him. You got to understand the Red Sox system.
Paredes, there we go, fixed it. Just say Paredes.
And now looking at it from
Who did Diamond get for Bell? I don't. Dude, that was like